on Vigyan Prasar YouTube and ISTI Facebook, besides this platform where we are all have joined in. Since its launch on 15th October 2020, we have organized 4 days of deliberation so far on the focal themes of agricultural production and innovation and post-harvest technology. The Web Clinic series is being hosted and implemented and managed by India Science, Technology and Innovation Portal. This is a web portal and is a centralized one-stop repository system for scientific research activities, which includes information on their intricate details. And with a vision of a single window source of information about science in India, the portal aggregates information on scientific inputs and outputs and disseminating related content. We'd like the portal attempt to address the gaps of identified issues and compute the impact of funding to enhance effectiveness. Welcome to the day 5 of the Web Clinic series. Today's focal theme of the deliberations is STI for society allied sectors of agriculture, in which we will be talking about harnessing solution-centric STI in search of social, economical, and environmentally viable technologies in the sectors of agriculture. The deliberations are broadly from horticulture, fisheries, aquaculture, poultry, animal husbandry, and any other allied sector. In today's session, we will have presentations from solution providers. Let us tune into the Web Clinic, and I welcome Dr. Devapriya Datta, Advisor and Head C Division of DST, to set the stage and share the thought process behind the whole ideas and execution of the Web Clinic. We have our today's moderator, Dr. Datta, and Shri Rahul Nair of Agni from the Office of Principal Advisor. I have a submission before we begin to you all, the presenters, that we will run all the slides and presentations from here for smooth functioning of deliberations. And due to time paucity, we will not be able to run the videos that you have shared with us. However, we have already uploaded them in the technology gallery of ISTI Portal for everyone's benefits. So you can all log in and have a view of those videos. Now I invite Dr. Datta for setting the context. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kinkini, and good afternoon. Namaskar and namaste to all of you. All of you who are interested this the setu or the bridge between science and society. And first of all, I start with the belated the Dashami or the Bija Dashami to all of you, and the happy Dasera to all of you. I'm really thankful to all of you to be with us during this 3rd week of the Bharat, and where we have, as you see here, the collaborating with Vigyan Prasar and the Office of the Principal Scientific Officers, the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, and also with the PICI, WWF, HESCO, and Agni of PSA office again. And just quickly go through what's the need. If you today's discussion is the 3rd sessions related to the agriculture and the allied sectors. The first 2 days we have discussed about the agriculture production system and the post-harvest system. If you see in the doubling the farmers' income, and also in the context of this Atmanirbhar Bharat, the programs of Government of India, the focus is on the agriculture allied sectors. In the fisheries sectors, the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, which has been launched, where 11,000 crore has been allocated for the marine and the inland fishery and aquaculture, और 9,000 crore जिसमें फिश हार्बर कोल्ड चेन मार्केट तैयार करने के लिए एलोकेट किया गया है, और जो एनिमल हस्बेंड्री इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स में करीब 15,000 करोड़ की एलोकेशन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने किया है, जो कि डेयरी प्रोसेसिंग, वैल्यू एडिशन, जो पशु खाद्य इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तैयार करने के लिए एलोकेट किया गया है, और कैंपा फंड जो कि कंपेंसेटरी अफॉरेस्टेशन मैनेजमेंट एंड प्लांटिंग अथॉरिटी, उसके तहत करीब 6,000 करोड़ एलोकेट किया हुआ है, जिसके माध्यम forest plantations or artificial regenerations, assisted natural regeneration, forest management, soil moisture conservation इत्यादि काम किया जाएगा। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के अलावा आप ये देखेंगे कि हर एक इसमें जो साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशंस की भी एक भूमिका है। ये जो फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की अलावा एक नॉलेज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी जरूरत है आत्मविश्वास, आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाने के लिए। और ये हम यही सोचते हुए और ये नॉलेज को जो नॉलेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से फील्ड तक, जो कम्युनिटी तक ले जाने के लिए हमने ये देखा कि जो सिस्टम लेवल पे मेन जो सिस्टम की गैप क्या है। एक तो जो कम्युनिटी की जो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी एब्जॉर्प्शन कैपेसिटी एक इश्यू है, जो सेतु की जो काम करते हैं, जो नॉन गवर्नमेंटल और वॉलंटरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, उनकी नॉलेज अपडेशंस एक इश्यू है। और जो नॉलेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो नॉलेज जनरेट करती है, जो रिसर्च की तरह, जो डेवलपमेंट की तरह, उनको हमारे प्रॉब्लम के ओरिएंट करने का एक सिस्टमिक गैप है। और इसी गैप में डिस्कस करने के लिए प्रधानमंत्री जी दिया है, जो कि ये कोविड के बाद और भी जिनकी इंपॉर्टेंस बढ़ गया है, जिसमें वोकल फॉर लोकल की बात उन्होंने कहा है। तो इसी में जो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशंस की जो रोल, ये आत्मनिर्भर भारत की जो टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन सिस्टम और जो सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स को सशक्त करने के लिए जो रोल है, उसी को मानते हुए हमने ये जो वेब क्लिनिक शुरू किया है। हम इसको वेब क्लिनिक कर रहे हैं क्योंकि ये कोई वेबिनार नहीं है, वेब मीटिंग नहीं है कि जहां एक स्टेक होल्डर आके अपना जो कहा और अपना जो रिसर्च की कहानी और एनजीओ जो अपने जो काम कर रहे हैं उन्हीं की कहानी बोले। ये एक इंटरैक्शंस की एक प्लेटफॉर्म है, जहां हम ये जो आत्मनिर्भर भारत की जो मेन 5 पिलर है, उसके ऊपर हम चर्चा करेंगे, एक आत्मा चिंतन करेंगे, जिससे ये जो सिस्टेमिक गैप, इसको लेते हुए हम आगे चल सकता है। और जो फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में इन्वेस्टमेंट आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए जो हो रहा है, उसको इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं जो साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, इनोवेशंस की इनपुट से, और जिसमें खाली नॉलेज इंस्टीट्यूशंस और एनजीओ अलग नहीं, नॉलेज इंस्टीट्यूशन, एनजीओ जो और कम्युनिटी, जो सोसाइटी इकट्ठे मिलके, और जिसमें अभी जो हमारे स्टार्टअप कम्युनिटी है उनको भी लेके हम आगे एक इकोसिस्टम और क्रॉस ब्रिज प्लेटफॉर्म की एक क्रॉस ब्रिज प्लेटफॉर्म बना सकते हैं। तो ये डिस्कस करने के लिए जैसे कि आपको पता है कि हर हफ्ते हम 2 दिन ये डिस्कशंस कर रहे हैं। जैसे आज के दिन STI फॉर द सोसाइटी है, जिसमें नॉलेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस कहेंगे कि उनके पास क्या जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, जो एनजीओ और कम्युनिटी ले सकते हैं अपना आत्मनिर्भरता बढ़ाने के लिए, अपनी लाइवलीहुड सिस्टम जो आजीविका बढ़ाने के लिए। और एक दिन जैसे कल है कि एनजीओ और कम्युनिटी के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स कहते हैं कि क्या लोकल प्रॉब्लम्स है जिनके सॉल्यूशंस के लिए नॉलेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ उनकी कोलैबोरेशंस हो सकता है। और ये भी हो सकता है कि बहुत सारे एनजीओ के पास जो टेक्नोलॉजीज है, उनको नॉलेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ मिलके कैसे इनकी इम्प्रूवमेंट किया जा सकता है। तो अब तक हमने यही कोशिश किया है कि ये जो फ्रेमवर्क है, किसी को एक प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू तैयार करने के लिए, जिसमें विज्ञान प्रसार की जो STIP पोर्टल हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, और इससे हमारे कोशिश यही रहेगा कि इसी को आप एक हमारे फ्यूचर में जो हमारे प्रोजेक्ट्स और प्रोग्राम डेवलप करने का प्लेटफॉर्म की तौर हम बढ़ाए और इसको एक डायनामिक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाए। जैसे हमने हर हफ्ते, जैसे हम हर दिन जो हमारे ये जो डिस्कशंस और ये प्लेटफॉर्म के होने के बाद हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हर दिन की विचार से क्या अपॉर्चुनिटी निकल के आ रहे हैं। ये आप देख रहे हैं एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्शंस इन इनोवेशंस जो पहला दिन है, उसमें हमने कुछ जो कोलैबोरेशंस, ये सारा स्टेक होल्डर्स के बीच नए कोलैबोरेशंस, जो नए उभरे हुए टेक्नोलॉजी की कैसे कम्युनिटी के पास लिया जा सकता है, और ऐसे ही जो इकोनॉमिक एक्शंस और प्रोडक्टिव एक्शंस जो करते हैं, उस कम्युनिटी के साथ हम कैसे मिल सकते हैं, इसी की सोच विचार किया है। दूसरे दिन जहां एनजीओ और लोग जो अपने फील्ड की जो अनुभव से जो बात किया था, उससे हमें में लगा कि हमारे देश में अभी तक लैब टू लैंड हुआ है, अभी लैंड टू लैब की टाइम आ गया है, और जो लोकली प्रोड्यूस टेक्नोलॉजी है उसको इंप्रूव किया जा सकता है कैसे नॉलेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ कोलैबोरेशन के। ऐसा ही बात हुआ है वन स्टॉप टेक्नोलॉजी मार्ट की, जो एनजीओज और कम्युनिटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की सर्कुलर रूरल इकोनॉमी की हुआ है, बात हुआ कि जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी लोअर इनपुट कॉस्ट, एनहांस प्रोडक्टिविटी, reducing the losses for the doubling farmers incomes किया जा सकता है। ऐसे फार्म प्रोडक्टिविटी, एनवायरमेंटल परफॉर्मेंस, क्योंकि हम इस ये जो प्लेटफॉर्म के तहत हम सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट और सतत विकास के जो 3 बाहु है, जो समाज, इकोनॉमी और पर्यावरण, तीनों को हम इकट्ठे लाना चाहते हैं, तो फार्म प्रोडक्टिविटी के साथ साथ एनवायरमेंटल परफॉर्मेंस भी देखना जरूरी है, और वाइड स्प्रेड कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग की बात हुआ है। दूसरे वीक में हमने जो डिस्कस किया था, जो पोस्ट हार्वेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी, ओवरऑल हमने देखा कि देश में जरूरत के मुताबिक हमारे कैपेसिटी अभी भी बहुत कम है, जिसके लिए नॉलेज में इन्वेस्टमेंट और भी होना चाहिए। तो इसके जो डिफरेंट जो पहलू है उसके ऊपर हमने विचार किया था, और जैसे कि वर्चुअल टेक्नोलॉजी इंक्यूबेशन फैसिलिटी की बात हुआ है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट रिसर्च एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ की अंतरा, जो कि IIT बॉम्बे ने एक रोबोटिक बेस्ड सिस्टम डेवलप किया है, जो कि स्टूडेंट के तहत कैसे हम कम्युनिटी के साथ इकट्ठा काम कर सकता है, उसी की बात हुआ है। ऐसे पिछले जब एनजीओज ने बात किया था पोस्ट हार्वेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजीज के ऊपर, उसमें से जो निकल के आया था कि जो टेक्नोलॉजी वैलिडेशंस और कॉन्ट्रैक्ट रिसर्च जो पोस्ट हार्वेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी में, वो एनजीओ और नॉलेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से काम कर सकता है। और ये भी निकल के आया कि बहुत सारे जो हमारे कोर सपोर्ट ग्रुप्स है, उससे टेक्नोलॉजी लोकल लेवल पे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पे भी गया है, जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रूरल डेवलपमेंट का जो डेवलपमेंटल प्रोग्राम है NRLM SRLM, उसको सशक्त कर सकता है। MSME में जो MSME के साथ कोलैबोरेशन करके मार्केटिंग चैनल का उनका सशक्त किया जा सकता है। स्मॉल स्केल मैन्युफैक्चरर उन्होंने कहा कि उनकी नेटवर्क की कमी है, उनकी एफिशिएंसी से बढ़ाया जा सकता है, और कैपेसिटी के डाउन स्केल कैपेसिटी, क्योंकि फील्ड लेवल पे हो नहीं सकता, जरूरत है ऐसे इक्विपमेंट उन्होंने आना चाहिए। ये केवीके के हमारे जो कलीग्स थे उन्होंने बताए थे, जो इंजीनियरिंग स्टूडेंट्स और रूरल यूथ को स्मॉल ग्रांट देके जो हमारे जो फील्ड लेवल की जो प्रॉब्लम है उसके ऊपर काम करने के लिए हमें मोटिवेट करना चाहिए। इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम करना चाहिए स्टूडेंट्स को वॉलंटरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में। रूरल विलेज इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर जो कि सजेस्ट किया गया था कि एफपीओज में होना चाहिए। ऐसे ही जो हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं इसके जो टेक्नोलॉजी की स्मॉल फिल्म ये हमारा जो टेक्नोलॉजी मार्ट और टेक्नोलॉजी जो ISTI पोर्टल के तहत हम कोशिश करेंगे कि ज्यादातर लोगों के लिए। ये जो डिस्कशंस हो रहे हैं, हम बार बार कह रहे हैं कि ये कोई वेबिनार मीटिंग नहीं है, ये इंटरैक्टिव प्लेटफॉर्म है। इसको इंटरैक्टिव करने के लिए ये जो ISTI की जो पोर्टल है, इसकी जहां आपने रजिस्ट्रेशन करते हैं उसके बाद आप देखेंगे कि ये आपने प्रॉब्लम्स आप डाल सकते हो, अपनी आइडियाज आप दे सकते हो और कोई क्वेश्चन आंसर भी दे सकते हो। हम एक डायनामिक सिस्टम्स डेवलप करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। हमें उम्मीद है कि ये जो शुरुआत है इसको हम बड़े तौर तक ले सकते हैं और ये जो सिस्टेमिक रिक्वायरमेंट है, इकट्ठे काम करने की जो जरूरत है, अभी 70 साल हमारे इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद बहुत कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट देश में हुआ है, लेकिन और जो सिस्टेमिक लेवल पे इकट्ठे काम करके हमारे स्वनिर्भरता लाने के लिए जो आत्मनिर्भरता लाने के लिए जो आत्मविश्वास और आत्मचिंतन की जरूरत है, हम उसी की कोशिश इस ये जो वेब क्लिनिक के तहत कर रहे हैं और हमारे उम्मीद है कि आप भी हमारे साथ इसमें जुड़े रहेंगे। एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच टू ऑल ऑफ यू फॉर joining with us, and we want this as a initiations and we want your the active participations. Please write back to us any of your suggestions so that we can take this forward at a national level to the field level. Thank you very much. So I think today we are starting our the first lead talk with Dr. Praveen Malik. The Dr. Malik is from the Department of Animal Husbandry, and he will be sharing his experience with these emerging technologies in this livelihood sector, livestock sector, which is the most the key subsectors of the Indian agriculture's allied sectors.
क्या होती है कि जब हम साइंटिस्ट बन जाते हैं, हमें कहा जाता है कि फील्ड की प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कीजिए। हम एक प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करते हैं सॉल्व करने के लिए, ताकि हमारी साइंस जिसमें हम माहिर हैं वो साइंस हमारी एक अच्छी निकल के आए, अच्छे प्रोडक्ट्स आए। और जब हम इसे लाइन डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से, इम्प्लीमेंटिंग डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से देखते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि वास्तव में कुछ अच्छी साइंस हो रखी है, कुछ अच्छी साइंस की रिक्वायरमेंट है जिसके एज पे हम पहुंचे हुए हैं, जहां हमें जरूरत है कि कुछ लोग और सामने आए और जहां तक बेसिक साइंस है उसे एप्लीकेशन में इस तरीके से मोल्ड करें कि वो यूज करें। कैन आई हैव द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज? सो अगर हम इस एलाइड सेक्टर में बात करते हैं तो हमारी लाइवस्टॉक वेल्थ, पशुधन बोलते हैं हिंदी में हम, तो धन अपने आप में ये सच में धन है। अगर आप देखें, वी हैव गॉट अराउंड 536 प्लस मिलियन टोटल लाइवस्टॉक वेल्थ इन इंडिया, जिसमें हमारे पास सबसे ज्यादा कैटल और बफलो की पॉपुलेशन है, जो करीब हमारे पास 30 करोड़ से ज्यादा है। 300 मिलियन से ज्यादा पॉपुलेशन हमारे पास कैटल एंड बफलो की है। इसी तरीके से शीप और गोट मिला के हमारे पास करीब 20 करोड़ के आसपास है, 20 करोड़ से ज्यादा है। और बाकी जो हमारी दूसरी स्पीशीज हैं वो माइनर स्पीशीज हैं। पिग्स हमारे पास करीब इसमें 9 मिलियन है, 90 लाख के करीब है। इसके अलावा जो हमारी बड़ी सेट है वो है हमारी पोल्ट्री सेक्टर, जिसमें हमारे पास करीब 850 मिलियन पोल्ट्री हैं, जिसमें बैकयार्ड भी है, जिसमें हमारी कमर्शियल पोल्ट्री भी है। और अगर हम ध्यान से इसे देखें तो बैकयार्ड पोल्ट्री अब हमारे कमर्शियल के साथ साथ इस तरीके से ग्रो कर रही है। महसूस करें कि पिछले 5 साल में बैकयार्ड पोल्ट्री करीब करीब डबल आई है। इसका मतलब अब हमें उन टेक्नोलॉजीज की, उन साइंस की जरूरत है जो इस बैकयार्ड पोल्ट्री को भी एक अच्छे लेवल पे लेके जाए। इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि अगर आप इसमें देखें कि मेजर सेक्टर हमारा 95% इसमें हमें रूरल एरिया में दिखता है, 514 मिलियन आउट ऑफ 536 मिलियन। इट मींस हमारा ये जो टोटली अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर है, मुझे उन साइंटिफिक अप्रोचेस की जरूरत है। कैन आई हैव द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज? हमें उन सेक्टर्स की जरूरत है कि जब हम इसमें कैपिटल की बात करते हैं, जब हम गेम्स की बात करते हैं, प्रोडक्टिविटी की बात करते हैं, तो जिस तरीके से ये इम्प्रूव हो रहा है, अगर आप महसूस करें 2018 में करीब 3900 बिलियन रुपीस हमारा वर्थ था मार्केट एनिमल हस्बेंड्री का, इसको हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि 2024 में करीब करीब डबल होके ये 7600 बिलियन का होने जा रहा है और करीब 12% क्यूमुलेटिव एनुअल ग्रोथ हमारी 19 से 24 के बीच में हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं। मिल्क प्रोडक्शन की बात करें तो कहाँ हमारे पास सिर्फ 90-92 मिलियन टन के करीब मिल्क था पर ईयर, अब हमारे पास 187 मिलियन टन है। इसमें अगर हम बात करें इसी तरीके से एग्स में हमने ग्रो कर लिया है, आज की डेट में हम करीब 103 बिलियन एग्स की प्रोडक्शन कर रहे हैं। इसी तरह हम मीट में, इसी तरीके से हम दूसरे उसमें कमोडिटीज में। कैन आई हैव द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज? अब अगर हम देखें, थोड़ा सा और ऊपर ले लेंगे प्लीज, थैंक यू। लाइवस्टॉक सेक्टर एक्चुअली अगर हम देखें तो 3 मेजर पिलर से हम लोग कंसीडर करते हैं फ्रॉम द एकेडमिक साइड, दैट इज ब्रीडिंग, फीडिंग एंड हेल्थ। ब्रीडिंग माने कैसे हम एनिमल्स को प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, न्यूट्रिशन कैसे हम उसको फीड खिला रहे हैं, किस तरीके से हम उसकी हेल्थ मैनेजमेंट कर रहे हैं, डिजीज प्रिवेंशन कंट्रोल, प्लस उससे ज्यादा कि हम अगर डिजीज प्रिवेंशन में करते हैं तो किस तरह की कंडीशंस, किस तरह की टेक्नोलॉजीज यूज करके हम हेल्दी रख सकते हैं। जहां हमारी सोच आनी शुरू हुई है कि अभी तक हम इन 3 पिलर्स के बेस पे चलते थे कि एनिमल हेल्दी रहे, लेकिन अगर मुझे सेक्टर को कराना है तो मुझे इससे पुरानी अप्रोच, एनिमल से पहली अप्रोच और एनिमल के बाद की अप्रोच, एंड टू एंड सीमलेस सॉल्यूशंस चाहिए, जिसमें मेरी प्रोसेसिंग, वैल्यू एडिशन, मार्केटिंग सब होना चाहिए और मुझे इसमें खाली मेन प्रोडक्ट्स के बजाय बाई प्रोडक्ट्स यूटिलाइजेशन पे भी ध्यान देने की जरूरत है। तो इन्हीं को देखते हुए अगर मैं इसमें जो मुझे टॉपिक दिया गया है कि किस तरह की टेक्नोलॉजीज हमें यूज करनी है, कैन आई हैव द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज? उन टेक्नोलॉजीज को हम एक एक करके हर सेक्टर में देखते हैं। मैंने बहुत ज्यादा नहीं लिखा है बट जो चीजें हैं, अब अगर इसमें आप देखें, हमें लाइवस्टॉक ब्रीडिंग में आज हमारे देश में हमें क्या जरूरत है? हमें जरूरत है कि हमारे पास अच्छे एनिमल, प्रोडक्टिव एनिमल प्रोड्यूस हों। ये प्रोडक्टिव एनिमल्स के लिए मुझे चाहिए कि हाई प्रोडक्टिविटी के, हाई जेनेटिक मेरिट के अच्छे बुल्स हमारे पास हों, जिसका मिनिमम स्टैंडर्ड्स हमारे जो हमने डिफाइन किए हैं अलग अलग ब्रीड के लिए। क्योंकि अगर हम प्रोडक्शन में देखें, हम वर्ल्ड में नंबर 1 है बफलो मिल्क में, नंबर 2 है, नंबर 3 है, हम ऑलमोस्ट टॉप पे हैं। लेकिन प्रोडक्टिविटी वाइज देखें तो हम नीचे की तरफ से मिलते हैं कि 1800 लीटर केजीज पर लैक्टेशन, जहां हम 12,000 और 13,000 तक की बात करते हैं होल्स्टीन में, जहां यूएस में हम बात करते हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में बात करते हैं, वहां हमारी प्रोडक्टिविटी लेवल बहुत कम है। तो उन्हें बढ़ाना है तो मुझे हाई प्रोडक्टिविटी के बुल्स चाहिए ही, मुझे डिजीज फ्री बुल्स चाहिए। इनके लिए मुझे सिलेक्शन की जरूरत है, जिसे हम कहेंगे कि जीनोमिक चिप, जो हमने एप्लीकेशन ऑफ जीनोमिक्स नीचे लिखा है, कि जो अभी तक हमारा सिलेक्शन का मैकेनिज्म है, ज्यादा से ज्यादा हमने बहुत कम लेवल पे शुरू किया है। हम पेडिग्री सिलेक्शन की तरफ हैं, सिर्फ डैम के मिल्क यील्ड से हम ऑफस्प्रिंग के मिल्क यील्ड की बात करते हैं। जब हम प्रोजेनी टेस्टिंग की बात करेंगे, पीटी, कुछ हम आगे जाएंगे कि हम एक्सपेक्टेड कर सकें कि इसकी ब्रीडिंग वैल्यू कितनी है। लेकिन अगर बर्थ के टाइम पे भी हम जीनोमिक चिप को यूज कर सकें और हम जीनोमिक लेवल पे बता सकें कि दिस पर्टिकुलर एनिमल हैज गॉट हाउ मच पोटेंशियल फॉर एनी ट्रेट, जैसे मिल्क प्रोडक्शन की हम बात करें, मिल्क में फैट की बात करें, एसएनएफ की बात करें, हम टोटल सोमेटिक सेल काउंट की बात करें, हम करें काविंग इंटरवल की, एज एट फर्स्ट काविंग की, हम डिजीज रेसिस्टेंस की बात करें, क्लाइमेट रेजिलियंस की बात करें, ये सारे चीजें हम जीनोमिक चिप्स के माध्यम से ढूंढ सकते हैं। वी कैन वेरी वेल गो फॉर सिलेक्शन ऑफ वंडरफुल बुल्स राइट, जो हमें आज की डेट में अगर कोई अच्छा बुल ढूंढने लगे 7 साल लगते हैं, अगर तीसरी जनरेशन पे हम बात करते हैं तो हमें 20 साल लगते हैं। हमें अगर वही चीज सिलेक्शन डे 1 पे होने लगे तो शायद हम 2.5 साल के अंदर एक अच्छा बुल तैयार करके हम दे सकते हैं। सो वी कैन हैव दिस काइंड ऑफ, सो ये जो नई टेक्नोलॉजीज हमारी जीनोमिक्स की है, वी आर वर्किंग ऑन दीज टेक्नोलॉजीज। इसमें रिक्वायरमेंट है कि हम इंडिजिनस टेक्नोलॉजीज, बिकॉज हमारी बॉस इंडिकस इज वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम मोस्ट ऑफ अस। यही चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है हमारे बफलो के लिए, बिकॉज बफलो हमारी जान है। हमारे इस सेक्टर में अगर मिल्क प्रोडक्शन की बात करें तो सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन हमारा बफलो का है, और इन बफलो को क्योंकि दूसरे किसी भी एडवांस कंट्रीज में ये नहीं है, ब्राजील हमारे यहाँ से मुर्रा लेके गया है, दे आर डूइंग वंडरफुल इन बफलो मिल्क। जो हमारी मोज़रेला चीज के प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो बफलो से निकल सकते हैं, तो कुछ इस नजरिए से बफलो इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। तो हमें जरूरत है कि इनमें भी हम ये यूज करें, और हम इसकी भी इंडिजिनस चिप की हम बात कर रहे हैं। इसके साथ हम इंडिजिनस ब्रीड को अपना अच्छे से अपग्रेड करें, उसके लिए जरूरत है, बिकॉज नॉर्मल हमारे कन्वेंशनल मैकेनिज्म टाइम लेंगे, तो जो इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज है, पहले हम एम्ब्रियो ट्रांसफर टेक्नोलॉजी करते थे ईटीटी, लेकिन उससे ज्यादा बेहतर है कि हम ओम पिकअप इन विट्रो फर्टिलाइजेशन की बात करें, जो टेस्ट ट्यूब बेबी हम बोलते हैं। वी कैन यूज दिस टेस्ट ट्यूब बेबीज, and we have already started establishing labs in different states for coming up with IVF technologies, and we are pursuing these technologies directly into the field, ताकि हम एनिमल्स को सरोगेट की तरह यूज करके एक ही जनरेशन में फ्रॉम वेरी अनडिस्क्रिप्ट एनिमल वी कैन गेट इनटू अ वेरी डिस्क्रिप्ट एंड वेरी मच प्रोडक्टिव एनिमल। क्वालिटी सीमन की हम बात करते हैं तो हमें आज की डेट में मेल एनिमल्स हमारे लिए स्ट्रे एनिमल्स की तरह प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज हमारे यहाँ इश्यूज हैं कि हम मेल एनिमल्स को यूज नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, ना तो हम ड्राफ्ट में कर पा रहे हैं मैकेनाइजेशन के बाद, तो ना तो हमारा वो एग्रीकल्चर में यूज हो पा रहा है। एनिमल्स की हमारे रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट्स हैं, ताकि इसे हम बीफ में यूज नहीं कर सकते हैं। सो हमें देखना पड़ेगा कि ये जो हमारी स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम है कंट्री स्पेसिफिक, उसको हम सेक्स सॉर्टेड सीमन से सोल्व कर सकते हैं। तो हमारे पास एक सोल्यूशन है कि हम एनिमल्स में सिर्फ एक्स क्रोमोसोम के सीमन को डालें, ताकि हमारे पास सिर्फ फीमेल पैदा हो, सो दैट वी कैन हैव मोर प्रोडक्टिव एनिमल्स, स्ट्रे एनिमल्स कम हो जाए। तो सेक्स सॉर्टेड सीमन की अभी जो टेक्नोलॉजी हम यूज कर रहे हैं वो हमारे पास इंपोर्टेड टेक्नोलॉजी है, एंड वी हैव स्टार्टेड यूजिंग दिस टेक्नोलॉजी इन द कंट्री, बट उसकी कॉस्ट मेरे लिए ज्यादा आ रही है। लुकिंग फॉर एन इंडिजिनस सॉल्यूशन टू दिस, एंड अगर इस तरह की सॉल्यूशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस या ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस मिलके ये कर पाते हैं, there are people who are claiming to have these kind of technologies developed, so वो कह रहे हैं कि हम इसको वैलिडेट करके we can give it back to you, so we are looking for such technologies here। आर्टिफिशियल इंसेमिनेशन की हम जो बात कर रहे हैं, इसमें इसके अंदर अभी तक हम कन्वेंशनल एआई गन्स की बात करते थे, हम कन्वेंशनल एआई गन्स के साथ साथ अब कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि वीडियो गन्स की हम बात करें, ताकि हम वीडियो के लेवल से not only at the site but also through the remote experts we can see what is the condition of the uterus or cervix, whether it is ready for insemination, whether it has got some disease condition, so these kind of improvements are coming, और उस तरह की टेक्नोलॉजीज में और इम्प्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है which can be taken into this consideration। दूसरे जो हमारे एनिमल्स हैं वो स्मॉल रूमिनेंट्स हैं, जैसे शीप और गोट, स्वाइन, पिग और पोल्ट्री। उसमें हमें जरूरत है सुपीरियर जर्म प्लाज्म की। अभी तक हम रखते थे, गोट्स को रखते थे ना, हमें पता है मिल्क के लिए कि मीट के लिए डुअल पर्पस यूज होती थी। चाहिए कि ये जर्म प्लाज्म सेपरेट आउट हो, जीनोमिक सिलेक्शन से हम इन्हें मिल्क के लिए और मीट के लिए अलग अलग सेलेक्ट कर सकें, और उस तरह के सिलेक्टेड ब्रीड्स को हम मैक्सिमम यूज कर सकें अपने प्रोग्राम्स में। इसी तरह पिग्स की इंप्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है, पोल्ट्री की जरूरत है, ताकि हमारे पास मिल्क के लिए, उल के लिए, मीट के लिए, एग्स के लिए हम अच्छे निकाल प्रोडक्शन हाई कर सकें। इंडिजिनस कलर्ड बर्ड्स हैं जो डिजीज रेसिस्टेंट हैं, शायद उनकी कुछ क्वालिटीज हम यूज कर सकते हैं, प्लस उनकी जो डिमांड है टेंडर मीट और कलर्ड एग्स की, उस डिमांड के अगेंस्ट वी कैन हैव मच बेटर दीज वन। So basically we have to come up with these technologies included in this program, and at the department we are trying our level best to include these technologies in our program। Can I have the next please? जीनोमिक सिलेक्शन की हमने बात की थी, हमारा ऑलरेडी हमने जीनोमिक सिलेक्शन में हाई जेनेटिक मेरिट बुल्स एट द यंग एज की हमने बात की है। इसके लिए हमने नेशनल बोवाइन जीनोमिक सेंटर फॉर इंडिजिनस ब्रीड हमने एस्टेब्लिश किया है, and we are working with Indian Council of Agricultural Research for this, and hopefully very soon next year probably we are going to have based laser assisted bovine sorting technology है, जिसकी हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं। सेक्स सॉर्टिंग के लिए स्मार्ट वीडियो गन की हम बात कर रहे हैं, इसी तरीके से हम क्वालिटी टेस्टिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, जो सब फर्टाइल सीमन है उसे हम कासा जैसे प्लेटफॉर्म पे कैसे बेटर यूज कर सकते हैं। इसी तरह इन विट्रो फर्टिलाइजेशन की मैं ऑलरेडी बात कर रहा था कि हम लोगों में 30 अप्रूव्ड लैब्स हैं, जिसमें से 14 हमने फंक्शनल की बात की है। इन सब एफर्ट्स को हम ई प्लेटफॉर्म के माध्यम से भी लोगों तक पहुंचाने की बात कर रहे हैं, जिसमें हमारे पास ई पशु हाट है, जिसमें हमारे पास ई गोपाला ऐप है, जिसके माध्यम से हम खाली डिपार्टमेंट नहीं, किसान भी डायरेक्टली अप्रोच कर सकता है, उसे जहां जिस तरह के जनप्रांत की अवेलेबिलिटी देखनी है, कुछ परचेज करना है, so they can approach the relevant stakeholder for their own needs. Can I have the next slide please? तो इस तरह के एप्स भी, इस तरह के नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज, इस तरह के जो हमारे अपने एप्स होंगे, ये एप्स भी हमारे लिए एक लिंकेज होंगे टेक्नोलॉजी को फार्मर तक पहुंचाने के लिए, सो दैट फार्मर कैन डायरेक्टली यूटिलाइज दिस रिसोर्सेज wherever they are available in the government sector. Can I have the next slide please? एनिमल हेल्थ की अगर हम बात करें तो इसमें हमें जरूरत है बेटर डायग्नोस्टिक्स की, प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल मैकेनिज्म्स की और प्रॉपर सर्विस डिलीवरी मैकेनिज्म्स की। डायग्नोस्टिक्स में हम बात कर सकते हैं कि हमारे पास सैटेलाइट मॉनिटरिंग की हमारे पास मैकेनिज्म्स हैं, जिसमें हम एटलीस्ट फोरकास्ट कर सकते हैं बेस्ड ऑन अदर मेट्रोलॉजिकल पैरामीटर्स द काइंड ऑफ ecological or environmental conditions available there, what kind of diseases can come, plus the old database of disease prevalence in that area. हमारे निवेदी इसमें काम कर रहे हैं, we can have better understanding of such forecasting of diseases. इसी तरीके से टेलीमेडिसिन की हम बात कर सकते हैं कि हम क्या इस तरह के ऐप डेवलप कर सकते हैं कि बाहर बैठ के a veterinarian can be able to diagnose the disease right there in the field. So these kind of combinations of these things, the disease simulation models and telemedicine apps can basically support the diagnosis in the field. For this laboratory diagnosis and other mechanisms, we'll go into the next slide. But for prevention and control, हमें नई जनरेशन की वैक्सीन की जरूरत है. Just hold on please on the last slide please. Thank you. This is regarding like mutants, recombinant proteins. अब mutant वैक्सीन में हमारे पास फॉर एग्जांपल ब्रूसेला, अभी हम बहुत पुरानी वैक्सीन यूज कर रहे हैं S19 की. अब इसमें दिक्कत थी कि we cannot differentiate between the infected and vaccinated animals. So device strategy के साथ mutant double deletion mutant vaccines are available which have been now released. So इस तरह की वैक्सीन की हमें जरूरत है ताकि हम डिवा कर सकें, वैक्सीन और इन्फेक्टेड के बीच में डिफरेंशिएट कर सकें और इसमें कंट्रोल मैकेनिज्म प्रॉपर हो सके. इसी तरीके से पीपल आर वर्किंग ऑन रिकॉम्बिनेंट प्रोटीन्स, डीएनए बेस्ड प्रोटीन्स, वी हैव गॉट सब यूनिट प्रोटीन्स एंड सो मेनी डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स. तो उसमें हमें चाहिए. इसी तरह जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल क्लासिकल स्वाइन फीवर, वी हैव गॉट अ वंडरफुल वैक्सीन ऑलरेडी इन द फील्ड. पहले लेपिनाइज आती थी, में डाल के बनानी पड़ती थी, बाद में सेल कल्चर की आई. अभी नई एक वैक्सीन रिलीज की है हमारे आईवीआरआई ने, जिस वैक्सीन के अंदर शायद बहुत छोटी सी लैब में आप पूरे कंट्री की नीड पूरी कर सकते हैं. इतना कम उसमें डोज लगता है. हाई पोटेंसी की वैक्सीन निकल के आई हैं जिसकी कॉस्ट कम पड़ेगी. तो इस तरह की इनोवेशंस की हमें जरूरत है एंड वी आर लुकिंग फॉर गुड एंड दीज आर सम ऑफ दोज इमर्जिंग. इसी तरीके से अगर सर्विस डिलीवरी की बात करें तो वेटनरी हॉस्पिटल्स का स्ट्रेंथनिंग की जरूरत है. उसमें कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग की है जो कि फील्ड बेस्ड डायग्नोसिस के ऊपर होगा और साथ में हमारी मोबाइल वेटनरी यूनिट्स हों ताकि ये यूनिट्स हमें फील्ड में सर्विसेज दे सकें और इस तरह के सिस्टम हो ताकि हम किसी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक और डिजिटल माध्यम से हम फार्मर के साथ जुड़े रहें. और इसी के साथ अगर हम रिपोर्टिंग अच्छी कर सकें तो शायद हमारा रेस्पॉन्स टाइम भी अच्छा होगा. सो दिस रिपोर्टिंग मैकेनिज्म्स विच हैव टू बी डिजिटल बेस्ड प्लेटफॉर्म, उसमें हम काम कर सकें, कैपेसिटी बिल्ड कर सकें फार्म की, फार्मर के साथ जो भी अटैच्ड हमारे वेटनेरियंस या पैरावेटनरी स्टाफ है उनकी. तो इस तरीके से प्रोबेबली वी कैन गो फॉरवर्ड एंड वी आर लुकिंग फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ इंटरवेंशंस इन द डिपार्टमेंट. नेक्स्ट, डिजीज डायग्नोसिस में हम बहुत कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव डायग्नोस्टिक्स की बात करते हैं. हमारे पास बहुत सारे पेपर स्ट्रिप बेस्ड या पॉइंट ऑफ केयर डायग्नोस्टिक्स हम बात करते हैं, फ्लो थ्रू, पेनसाइट टेस्ट एंड अदर टेस्ट, ये हमारे पास आ रहे हैं. लेकिन बेहतर सेंसिटिविटी के लिए, बेहतर स्पेसिफिसिटी के लिए हम क्रिस्पर बेस्ड या हेप्टामर बेस्ड डायग्नोस्टिक्स की बात कर सकते हैं। हम सेंसर बेस्ड डायग्नोस्टिक्स की बात कर सकते हैं, जिसमें ग्राफीन को बहुत अच्छे से प्रिसाइज और एफिशिएंट डायग्नोस्टिक्स के लिए यूज किया जा रहा है। तो उसके बेस में क्या हम अच्छे डायग्नोस्टिक ला सकें। अगर हम एग्जांपल लें कोविड के केस में, अगर आप देखते हैं तो आज भी ये डाउट है कि जो हम डायग्नोस्टिक्स अभी यूज कर रहे हैं वो कितने सेंसिटिव और इफेक्टिव हैं, क्या हम उससे डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट ले पा रहे हैं। एनिमल हेल्थ में एक्चुअली थोड़ा सेकंड सीट ले जाता है कभी कभी, तो उसमें इन सब चीजों की जरूरत है जो कि हमारे इकोनॉमिक भी हो और इफेक्टिव भी हो एट द सेम टाइम। डिवाइस स्ट्रेटेजीज की मैं ऑलरेडी बात कर चुका हूँ, ये हमारे लिए जरूरत है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। इसी तरीके से हमें जरूरत है वन हेल्थ की। वन हेल्थ माने प्रॉब्लम ये है कि ज्यादातर हम ये कहते हैं 60 to 70% डिजीजेज, 2/3 डिजीजेज एनिमल से शिफ्ट कर रही हैं। जो नई इमर्जिंग डिजीज आ रही हैं 75% एनिमल्स में से आ रही हैं। तो ह्यूमन हेल्थ, अगर मुझे ह्यूमन हेल्थ को सेफ गार्ड करना है तो उसके लिए जरूरत है कि मैं एनिमल्स के अंदर अगर उसको ब्रेक लगा सकूं तो प्रोबेबली द ह्यूमन साइड विल ऑटोमेटिकली बी सेफ बाय 75% ऑफ द डिजीजेस। इसी तरीके से मुझे एनवायरमेंटल फैक्टर्स कंसिडरेशन में लेके आने की जरूरत है ताकि हम एनिमल्स को, ह्यूमन को, पूरे इकोलॉजी को एक सेफ कंडीशन पैदा कर सकें। इसमें सबसे ज्यादा एक इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर आता है द यूसेज ऑफ एंटीबायोटिक्स। हम क्या प्रूडेंट यूज करके एंटीबायोटिक रेसिस्टेंस के जो नए पैटर्न आ रहे हैं जिस तरीके हैं, क्या हम इसमें कुछ सोल्यूशन दे सकते हैं। तो इसके लिए सॉल्यूशंस में हम जब बात करते हैं इसमें साइंटिफिक स्टडीज की जरूरत है, जिसमें माइक्रोबायोम स्टडीज करें, हम एंटीबॉडीज को यूज करें, अल्टरनेटिव्स की फाजेस को यूज करें, बैक्टीरियोफाजेज हैं, बहुत अच्छा इसमें अभी रिसर्च शुरू हो गया है। And we are looking for technologies which can basically give an alternative to the antibiotics or antimicrobials which are being used in the animal sector or the human sector. वैक्सीन्स हम यूज कर सकते हैं। अगर हमारे पास बेटर वैक्सीन्स होंगी जो इफेक्टिव होंगी तो डिजीज नहीं होगी, तो ट्रीटमेंट या मैनेजमेंट की रिक्वायरमेंट कम होगी। सो वी कैन हैव मिटिगेट द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ एंटीबायोटिक रेजिस्टेंस और AMR। बेटर डायग्नोस्टिक्स की जरूरत है जो हम पहले बात कर चुके हैं, ताकि टाइमली डायग्नोसिस हो, टाइमली ट्रीटमेंट इजी हो। और एंटीबायोटिक्स के अल्टरनेटिव जैसे हर्बल मेडिसिन की हम बात करते हैं, वी आर लुकिंग फॉर आयुष अप्रोच ऑल्सो into the alternatives to antibiotics and antimicrobials so that we can come up with good one health solution in animal sector. Next please. न्यूट्रिशन तीसरा मेरा पिलर है, जिसमें हम जनरली बात करते हैं मीथेन प्रोडक्शन की, कि मीथेन प्रोडक्शन ज्यादा हो रहा है, एनवायरनमेंट को हार्म कर रहा है। so we have to have solutions to do. One solution is the total mixed ration, that is balanced ration. इसके लिए लोगों ने ऐप बनाए हैं और वो ऐप से फार्मर कैन बेसिकली, NDDB ने इसका लॉन्च किया हुआ है और इस ऐप के माध्यम से वो अपने लोकल रिसोर्सेज को यूज करते हुए एक बैलेंस्ड राशन तैयार कर सकते हैं ताकि मिनिमम उसमें यूज हो सके। नेक्स्ट इज द क्वालिटी फीड। हमें नीड बेस्ड फॉर्मुलेशन की जरूरत है। अभी दत्ता साहब बात कर रहे थे कि हम सॉइल हेल्थ की बात करते हैं, सॉइल हेल्थ में कहाँ डेफिशिएंसीज है, कहाँ एक्सेस है, किस तरह की चीजें अवेलेबल है सॉइल में, वही चीज घूम फिर के हमारे फीड में आ रही है और उसी के बेस पे वो एनिमल को जा रही है। तो हमारी फूड चेन में सॉइल से शुरू होती है हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट। तो अगर हम सॉइल की कंडीशंस को, जो सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड से अपने फीड को कोरिलेट करते हुए नीड बेस्ड फॉर्मुलेशंस की तैयारी करें, उसके लिए हमारे पास ऑलरेडी हम लोगों ने बात की हुई है एरिया स्पेसिफिक मिनरल मिक्सचर्स की। We can have better improvements in this area also to give more local resources, economic feeding alternatives to the farmers for better productivity to the animals. एक aspect इसमें आता है कि क्या हम अपने फूड को स्टोर कर सकते हैं। So one good approach in this is silage making, जिसके लिए बहुत अच्छी अप्रोचेस हो सकती हैं। People have come up in north, particularly पंजाब में बड़ी मशीनें लोगों ने करनी शुरू की हैं for this, and we can have good varieties also being used और उनके डेवलपमेंट की जरूरत है। So वो हमें एग्रीकल्चर साइड से उसका कन्वर्जेंस की रिक्वायरमेंट है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। Similarly, we can talk on the products also. प्रोडक्ट में हमारा सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोडक्ट हम कहते हैं मिल्क, तो उसमें मिल्क में इश्यूज हैं हमारे एडल्ट्रेंट्स या रेजिड्यूज। एडल्ट्रेंट्स के लिए हमें एलिमिनेट करने हैं, तो एडल्ट्रेंट्स के लिए हमारे पास टेस्टिंग किट्स की रिक्वायरमेंट है। टेस्टिंग किट के लिए एनडीआरआई जैसे इंस्टीट्यूशंस बहुत अच्छे मैकेनिज्म्स लेके आए हैं, एंड आई एम हैप्पी टू शेयर दैट so many startups are working on these aspects also, and they are coming up with good solutions so that these adulterants can be detected right there in the field and at the collection, तो हमारे कंज्यूमर तक उस तरह के मिल्क ना पहुंचे। इसके अलावा रेजिड्यूज की जरूरत है। अगर रेजिड्यू हम पहचान सकेंगे तो विल बी एबल टू बेसिकली educate my farmer, make them aware regarding their feed, जिसमें माइकोटॉक्सिन्स या कुछ चीजें आ सकती हैं regarding यूसेज ऑफ एंटीबायोटिक जो हमारे रेजिड्यूज की तरह मिल्क में आ सकता है। तो this kind of withdrawal period or getting good feed management can also be taught to these people based on these observations. So ये मिल्क एडल्ट्रेंट और रेजिड्यू एनालिसिस के लिए जो हमारे डिटेक्शन के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट है, we have a good understanding and we are getting these kind of things. इसी तरीके से फोर्टिफिकेशन की हम बात करते हैं, चाहे मीट हो या मिल्क हो, वी कैन हैव फोर्टिफाइड प्रोडक्ट्स व्हिच आर रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द न्यूट्रिशनल सिक्योरिटी ऑफ द ह्यूमन पॉपुलेशन। वो फोर्टिफिकेशन भी वैल्यू एडिशन के साथ आपको प्राइस भी अच्छा देके जाता है, एंड दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स कैन बी डन। इसी तरह मार्केटिंग की बात करते हैं हम, आज की डेट में सारा का सारा टेली मार्केटिंग की बात करते हैं, जिसमें हम एंड टू एंड सोल्यूशन निकाल के आते हैं। एक इशू इसमें आता है कि whether we have got the traceability of the product we are marketing, तो हमारा एनिमल प्रोडक्ट से लेके और फाइनल तक हमारे पास ट्रेसेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए। उसके लिए सॉल्यूशंस की जरूरत है। कुछ लेवल पे हम काम कर रहे हैं, कुछ और लेवल पे हमें इन इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज की रिक्वायरमेंट है, जहां हम कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज के साथ, सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप के साथ या इंडिविजुअल फार्मर्स के साथ बात कर सकें और मार्केटिंग में हम एक ट्रेसेबिलिटी पैदा कर सकें, ताकि लोकल मार्केट, एक्सपोर्ट मार्केट में जो पोटेंशियल है उसे हम हार्नेस कर सकें प्रॉपर्ली। ट्रेसेबिलिटी में आईओटीज और आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस ड्रिवन हमें क्लाउड बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट की रिक्वायरमेंट है, और इसके ऊपर हम बहुत एक्टिवली काम कर रहे हैं। इसमें एक बड़ा मेजर मुद्दा आता है कि हम एनिमल आइडेंटिफिकेशन ही सबसे बड़ा मुश्किल है। अभी तक हम फिजिकल टैग्स की बात कर रहे हैं, उसमें काफी रेसिस्टेंस है फार्मर्स के साथ भी, और रेसिस्टेंस है हमारे एप्लीकेटर्स के साथ भी। तो हम वी आर लुकिंग फॉर एन अल्टरनेटिव टू द एनिमल बायोमेट्रिक काइंड ऑफ सिस्टम, लाइक जो हम टैगिंग कर रहे हैं, क्या आइडेंटिफिकेशन सिस्टम में बायोमेट्री या इस तरह का कोई मैकेनिज्म ला सकते हैं। इन सब चीजों को अगर हम एक साथ देखें, इसके बाद प्लीज नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। हम खाली प्रोडक्ट्स की बात ना करें, हम बाई प्रोडक्ट्स की भी बात करें, जिसमें हम कहते हैं ड्राई डेयरी कंसेप्ट। हम जैसे फॉस्फेट रिच ऑर्गेनिक फर्टिलाइजर या फॉस्फेट रिच ऑर्गेनिक मैन्योर्स की हम बात करते हैं, वर्मी कंपोस्ट की बात करते हैं, फ्यूल प्रोडक्शन की बात करते हैं, बायो पेस्टिसाइड की बात करते हैं। और अगर आप नीचे एक छोटे से इसमें महसूस करें तो कुछ हमने एक दिया है कि लेदर से लेके, ब्रश से लेके, हमारे पास आइसक्रीम से लेके, हमारे पास बहुत सारे ऐसे प्रोडक्ट हैं। टॉयज हमारे बनते हैं, ये सब गोबर के टॉयज हैं। अगर आप देखें, दीज आर मेड ऑफ डंग। सो काउ डंग को यूज कर सकते हैं, यूरिन को हम पेस्टिसाइड की तरह कुछ लोगों ने कहा है। तो इनकी वैलिडेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट है, कुछ वैलिडेशन हो, कुछ चीजें हम यूज करें, एंड कैन वी कम टुवर्ड्स मोर ऑर्गेनिक काइंड ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इन एग्रीकल्चर एज वेल। सो ये ड्राई डेयरी में कुछ लोगों को गुजरात में लोगों ने इनिशिएट किया है, जहां उन्होंने, आपने न्यूज़पेपर में पढ़ा होगा कि छत्तीसगढ़ में करीब 1 या 1.5 रुपए पर केजी गोबर खरीद रही है गवर्नमेंट। गुजरात में कुछ लोग हैं जो 5 रुपए पर केजी तक आपका वेट गोबर खरीद रहे हैं। सो दे आर यूटिलाइजिंग दीज बाय प्रोडक्ट्स डन अदर थिंग्स। इनफैक्ट ये चीजें हैं, रिक्वायरमेंट है। मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फिशरीज, एनिमल हस्बेंड्री एंड डेयरिंग, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एनिमल हस्बेंड्री एंड डेयरिंग ने लास्ट ईयर हमने कुछ एक ग्रांड चैलेंज लॉन्च किया था, जिसमें हमने इन्हीं सब टेक्नोलॉजीज को बात की कि उसमें कुछ स्टार्टअप्स को इनवाइट किया, एंड वी हैव बीन टॉकिंग अबाउट द वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट, द सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक इन द डेयरी सेक्टर, मिल्क एडल्ट्रेशन को कैसे एलिमिनेट करें, ई कॉमर्स के ऊपर हमने बात की थी, ट्रेसेबिलिटी के जो प्रोडक्ट ट्रेसेबिलिटी की खासतौर से बात है उसकी हमने बात की थी, ब्रीड इंप्रूवमेंट में और एनिमल न्यूट्रिशन में। इसमें हमारे पास बहुत अच्छे लोगों ने स्टार्टअप्स ने सॉल्यूशंस हमें दिए थे. We had selected them and we are promoting them as well. And I had passed on this information to Dr. Datta also for basically make them suitable incentives to your department as well. अभी हम दूसरा इसका सेकंड वर्जन लेके आने की बात कर रहे हैं, जिसमें हम कुछ दूसरी प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स के ऊपर शायद इनवाइट करेंगे, जिसमें सीमेंट स्टोरेज के अल्टरनेटिव्स के ऊपर हम बात करने की बात कर रहे हैं. हमने एनिमल आइडेंटिफिकेशन के अल्टरनेटिव्स के ऊपर एक बात की है. क्विकर हीट डिटेक्शन, जो कि हीट डिटेक्शन एक ऐसा फंडामेंटल इशू है जो बहुत कॉमन है लेकिन मिस होता है बहुत बार, और ये प्रोडक्टिविटी को बहुत बुरी तरीके से इम्पैक्ट करता है. सो दिस एडवर्स इम्पैक्ट कैन बी रिड्यूस्ड if you can have a heat detection in timely manner, simultaneously the pregnancy diagnosis in timely manner. So heat detection और PD के लिए फील्ड में किस तरह की किट्स बन सकती हैं, किस तरह की किट्स अवेलेबल हैं, ताकि हम ये क्विकर इंटरसेप्शन कर सकें दूसरे इंटरवेंशंस का. इसी तरीके से सप्लाई चेन में मिल्क कूलिंग और इस तरह के कूलिंग के अल्टरनेटिव्स हम किस तरीके से कर सकें ताकि हमारे पास स्टोरेज अच्छा हो सके मिल्क का. वी कैन हैव बेटर मार्केटेबिलिटी ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट. और साथ में कुछ टेक्नोलॉजीज की हम बात कर रहे हैं कि जो वन हेल्थ में हमें सपोर्ट करेंगे, विच विल बी लेवरेजिंग दिस. सो अकॉर्डिंगली हमारा पूरा ध्यान इस टाइम एनिमल हस्बेंड्री में, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट डिफरेंट स्कीम्स, चाहे वो हमारी डेयरी की स्कीम्स हैं, चाहे वो हमारी हेल्थ की स्कीम्स हैं, या वो हमारी न्यूट्रिशन की या दूसरे सिस्टम की स्कीम्स हैं, वो अगर हम बात करें तो हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि इस तरह की स्कीम्स में सब जगह टेक्नोलॉजी का मैक्सिमम और वो टेक्नोलॉजी हमें एक्चुअली कुछ इस तरह के रिजल्ट दे पाए कि हम इसमें प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ा पाएं, और इस तरह के जो डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट्स हमें चाहिए फ्रॉम द डिपार्टमेंट, फ्रॉम द लाइफ सेक्टर, इन डबलिंग द फार्मर्स इनकम, मेकिंग द फार्मर्स आत्मनिर्भर. तो ये सब चीजें प्रोबेबली हम जिसे कहते हैं एग्रीकल्चर में साइंस का यूज बहुत हो गया है. दे हैव स्टार्टेड यूजिंग दिस साइंस, बट एनिमल हस्बेंड्री अभी भी काफी कुछ कन्वेंशनल चल रही थी. तो वी वुड लाइक टू हैव दिस डन थ्रू मोर टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंटरवेंशंस फॉर बेटर आउटपुट एंड आउटकम. फार्मर्स की इनकम जिस तरह की ग्रोथ है, जिस तरह के पोटेंशियल है इस एरिया में, हमें लगता है कि डबल से हम ज्यादा जा सकते हैं बहुत आसानी से, अगर हम ये सारी टेक्नोलॉजीज को फार्मर्स तक पहुंचा सकें. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, Dr. Malik. I think you have given, like the spectrum of the opportunities of new emerging technologies in these animal husbandry sectors. What we would like to, follow it up with our, the network of the NGOs and the community organizations, how they can access to these, these new emerging technologies and the knowledge. Probably we will discuss, and I request that if you can be with us, that and there are already some questions are there, so we can use the answer to this. Yeah. I think the next important sectors in this allied sector is the fisheries, because that is the the focus of the country, and I request Dr. Archit Kanti Das of the CEFI for to give us an the overview of these emerging technologies in the fisheries sectors. Dr. Das.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Dr. Das, you are audible. Yeah.
So time is passing by. So on behalf of my very age-old institute, ISTI here, Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, on behalf of my director, very flamboyant director, Dr. B.K. Das, and on my personal behalf, I extend a very warm Shubha Vijayadashami and Shubha Dashara to all the audience participants, NGOs, entrepreneurs, and our farming communities for joining to this very important web clinic organized by our DST Seed Division Center. So with this, my topic is prospects of emerging technologies in fisheries for community, science, technology, innovations for society, that Shetu for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Myself, B.K. Das, on behalf of Central Fisheries, Barakpur. Next slide, please. Fisheries and aquaculture. Next slide, please. And very vibrant sector under the umbrella of agriculture. And we are not only dreaming our farming communities, but it is reality that not only doubling farmers' income, we will be putting it to tripling farmers' income. And since independence, our Honorable Prime Minister has launched a very robust schemes, 20,050 crores under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, out of which 11,000 crores has been for individual developments in marine, aquaculture and fisheries sectors, and 9,000 crores for infrastructure developments, distributing it to 28 states in the line departments for sectoral development and growth. A very important sector. During last Science Congress at Bengaluru, that GKBK, our Honorable DG ICR and Secretary there, Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra has declared that out of 55 integrated farming system, the most and the top farming system is with which land-based agriculture has been associated with aquaculture, where direct 3.5 lakhs rupees profit being accrued by these agriculture community in this integrated farming system. So aquaculture and fisheries, very robust sector that should be integrated along with our land-based agriculture systems, including animal husbandry, dairying and fisheries. And with this impressive growth in this sector, since 1950-51, our production was 0.7 million ton. Now, in 2019-2020, the production has touched to the level of 14 million ton level. That very impressive growth. And knowing this growth, our Honorable Prime Minister has come up with a new ministry in January 2019, Ministry of Fisheries.
This conference will now be recorded.
Development for benefit to this across these farming communities. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. That some fact files already I mentioned, that out of which this 68% production comes from inland sector. Marine is little bit dwindling. Per capita consumption at this very moment is 9.8 kg per capita per year, but as per Food and Agriculture organizations, it should be 12 kg per capita per year. We are a little bit lacking behind, but some of the states are progressive. Well, that 22 kg per capita per year in Tripura, and we have very sound fisher populations, that those who are depending their income, livelihood, 70% from these fisheries and fishing activities, they are called fisher populations, and it has already crossed 15 million. And already I mentioned that new Directorate of Fisheries, new ministry has come up from January 2019 onwards. Next slide, please. And this aquaculture and fisheries, the very basics of these two aspects is that aquaculture is an individualistic, is a corporate type, that culture of aquatic organisms, including fish, prawns, crabs, lobsters, squilla, oysters, and clam, where 1 kilo fish, all the profit being received by individual or a corporate private owned group. And it is cost intensive. 1 kg fish production cost would be around 60 rupees, and benefits owned by the individual who is controlling his pond. Environmental issues are there, more manure, fertilizer, feeds, medicines, that good management practices required, risks involved, intensive culture and extensive fishing. And fisheries is vice versa, involving group dynamics, open water resources, benefits shared by many stakeholders. And these are all public owned properties, public owned system, where less cost involved, only the stocking expenditure. 1 kg fish production cost is around 8 rupees 52 paisa, no fertilizer, no manure, no feeding, no medicine, natural recruitment, some additional stocking, that's all. And expensive culture intensive fishing, enhancement protocols being opted, being followed. Only we have to we have to imbibe these HR groups. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. That the way that aquaculture and fisheries sectors are moving with this spearheading towards doubling farmers' income by 2020 onward, that we have already crossed the 60s, 70s, 80s decades technologies, moving towards third, fourth generation technologies, opting that these, even if you go back to 60s, 70s decade, already our institute has developed induced breeding, very vibrant technology, composite fish culture, integrated farming, and these have got enormous acceptability across this farming community. Now, the system comes that managing pond. This is a pond managed system. The irrigation central farmers are well acquainted with this, and feeding. Still, there are some places in Bihar whenever will be हम लोग जब बिहार से ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, अभी भी कुछ जगह पे ऐसा भी फार्मिंग सिस्टम है, फार्मिंग कम्युनिटी है, मछली को गोबर खिलाते हैं, लेकिन मछली गोबर खाते नहीं. गोबर is little bit, but gobar is developing our soil physical properties. So we have to continuously in touch with the farming communities that no, now floating feed came, extruded pelleted feed came. We have to add with the sinking feed. We have to add pelleted feed, and making this sort of floating device. We have to give floating feed also to see our fish growth conditions and all. Now farmers are well adopted to floating feed systems. So next slide, please. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. We have to look at a very glance what we do have in our hands. That inland open water fisheries resources, very extensive riverine systems, 29 kilometer canal, 1.35 lakhs kilometer. Now this is the sector where our institute is working. In Sundarban, I will be astonished that there are more than 2,000 canals, that to freshwater canals. Normally, out of 102 islands in Sundarban, 52 islands people are there, but again 48 islands. These are all these very sacred place for tigers and all. People are venturing those areas, core areas for honey and fishes and all. So, if canal fisheries already developed the technology, our institute has put for this technology. If we develop these canals, at least 30% additional income to be generated, so as to prevent the Sundarban people not to venture into those core areas where tiger resides. And our very vibrant sector is reservoirs, 35 lakh hectare. Now it is increasing day by day. Number of river valley projects are coming. More than 35 lakh hectare reservoirs are there, mostly fallow. With the development of this and coming up of this 11th DB National Fisheries Development Board from 2006 onwards, that reservoirs has been looked upon as not only as a fish mine, these are all fish bank and future inland fisheries is mostly banking on these reservoirs, and we are putting forth all our endeavors in those reservoir activities. Very huge water bodies and wetlands, floodplains wetlands, eastern Bihar, northeast Assam and all. The use wetlands more than 5.54 lakhs floodplains wetlands, in addition to other wetlands and estuarine systems also. Next slide, please. So technological options are there. Technological options here in the inland, and we do have aquaculture, more than 2.47 million hectare area under aquaculture systems. So more inputs are going on into aquaculture systems, and more than 70-75% still are coming from our aquaculture sector. I will be coming on my presentations that where these interventions can be put for putting for spearheading with these technological interventions. Under open water systems, inland open water systems, we do follow enhancements. Enhancement does not necessarily mean that it would go on increasing production, but at times it would take care of this human resource development also. So stock enhancement, regularly we have to stock. We even these culture-based fisheries, you stock and harvest. Culture-based fisheries, earlier it was only confined to small reservoir system. Now it has been extended to medium and large reservoirs, more than 5,000 hectare reservoir, like Indira Sagar Reservoir. Already I have shown in the slide, I will be showing that the largest reservoir in India on river Narmada in Madhya Pradesh, Indira Sagar Reservoir, 92,000 hectare reservoir. The present level of fish production is 60 kg per hectare per year. Unimaginable productions that due to stock enhancement, that is culture-based fisheries has been extended to even largest reservoir. Also species enhancement, management enhancement, you have to take care of the management and the culture-based fisheries. CBF, the most this important enhancement protocol to be followed, and in closer culture, cage culture, pen culture, and floating pen culture. I will be coming to that. Next slide, please. So with these technological interventions and enhancement, this is our Indira Sagar Reservoir. Already I mentioned the largest reservoir in Southeast Asia, 92,000 hectare, and now culture-based fisheries is being opted to do this largest reservoir also, where production has gone up to 60 kg per hectare per year. It should be increasing. Our target is towards taking it to 100 kg per hectare. So the days are not so far. इतना दिन दूर नहीं है जब हम लोग इतना बड़े सबसे बड़े रिजर्वर में 100 किलो प्रोडक्शन पर हेक्टर में ले सकें. Next slide, please. So these all medium group of reservoirs, all largest group of reservoirs to be put under these culture-based fisheries. So we have a glance on aquaculture technical options since 60s, 70s, 80s decade. People have been following that stocking of fry, stocking of fingerlings up to 10 gram. Now we are advocating that no, now we should go for stunted group fingerling of more than 100 gram size. The larger stocking density side, the more is the production, the more is the growth rate. Even number of advanced farmers whom being nurtured by me personally, they are stocking 1 kilo size katla and 2.5 to 3 years, within 2.5 years. 2-2.5 से 3 साल में 10 से 12 किलो प्रोडक्शन ले रहे हैं. अगर आप 1 किलो का कटला का स्टॉक करें तो larger the stocking size that to previous years stock, you would be getting more fish. And regular applying line and salt. These are two precursors for aquaculture development. And drying of pond every alternate 3 years. These are the very basics where our farmers are now following, and we are injecting the very basics of applying lime, applying salt, and pond drying and drag netting regularly. These are the very important aspects of development of aquaculture sector. And proper feeding with for IMC Indian major carps, Rohu Katla and Mrigal, Levio Rohita, Levio Katla and Sirihinus Mrigela, that we are advocating 25% proteinous feed, 2 to 3% body weight, and use organic juice, probiotics, better growth, and eco health, and phase-wise harvest. And harvesting and marketing also, you have to look back towards the market. If there is not Saturday, not Thursday, not Tuesday, then you should not harvest those days. You harvest accordingly where market gulf is there. Next slide, please. So under this aquaculture regime, next slide, please. So under this aquaculture regime, now there are very phenomenal and new technologies are coming up. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So new technologies are coming up. New technologies are coming up like tank fishery culture. I'll be coming to biofloc systems everywhere now. YouTube, most of our youngsters, without knowing the very basics of aquaculture, without practicing aquaculture in their life, they are jumping to biofloc systems and they are burning their finger. Biofloc, prior to biofloc, I'm advocating tank fishery cultures, very robust technology to our rural youth, rural unemployed youth under this pandemic situation. ग्रामीण भारत के जो युवा हैं उनको हम लोग टैंक फिशरी से हम लोग उनको इनवाइट करते हैं कि ए गुड इनिशिएटिव प्रॉफिटेबल वेंचर में ऑप्ट बाय रूरल ईयर्स सीमेंट और एफआरपी टैंक अंडरग्राउंड में थोड़ा 3-4% अंडरग्राउंड में रहेंगे. कॉस्ट ऑफ मेकिंग सीमेंट 40,000, एफआरपी 70,000 की है. शेप राउंड होगी. इसमें हम लोग डायमीटर होगा 5.5 मीटर एंड डेप्थ 1.8 मीटर. हम पटना में, हम बिहार में काफी रूरल से भी इन्वाइट किया, बाकी स्टेट को भी इन्वाइट कर रहा हूँ ताकि इसी में 4 से 5 टन पंगास पर ईयर ये लोग प्रोडक्शन ले रहे हैं. प्रोवाइडेड स्टॉक अराउंड 250 to 300 ग्राम साइज. इसमें शिंगी हेटेरोब्रेंस्टिस फॉसिलिस प्रोडक्शन 400 kg पर टैंक पर ईयर. और इसका साथ साथ पावदा, बायोमेकुलेटस, पाबो, मागुर, क्लैरियस, बैट्रकस, दैट इज दिशी मागुर, and monosex tilapia, Oreochromis niloticus, and marls. अगर सीट मिले तो this channa status, channa marulius, अगर सीट मिले तो हम लोग टैंक फिशरी में इसको आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं. इसी में ना एडिशंस की जरूरत है, ना इसमें खाली every day 1 or 2 feet bottom water to be released and to be utilized as aquaponics. So these are the next slide, please. These are the tanks being operated virtually the area of this Bihar, that 3/4% underwater. So winter में अभी winter आ रहा है, शीतकाल में ये पानी गर्मी रहती है, warmth, it develops warmth, और गर्मी में ठंड रहता है. तो इसमें series of tank आप करें, धीरे धीरे 3 ग्राम से 3 ग्राम to 50 ग्राम, 50 ग्राम to 200 ग्राम, 200 to 400 ग्राम और 400 ग्राम आप स्टॉक करें. Within 3.5 months, this fungus fish would grow to more than 2 kg. So this is the technology being percolated to our rural areas under these pandemic situations for their life. So next slide, please. So coming to bifloc system, bifloc is a robust technology that very profitable venture may opt by rural areas, and साथ साथ इसमें हम लोग women self help group, SHGs और लाइन डिपार्टमेंट से हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मत्स्य संपदा योजना से भी बायोफ्लॉक के ऊपर काफी जोर दिया गया. Provided you have to have trained until you have the training, you don't know the value of free ammonia. Free ammonia is very toxic, and you don't know this oil if electricity goes. So bioflok is a robust technology developed at Israel, being percolated to India. Now people are opting it, but my suggestions, my submissions from my institute, from my assistant is to see and all, you should have sound knowledge, should have proper training to these proper trainers, then only you venture. It is working excellent in case of Phineas, Dynamite, our sister institute, ICR, are working well with this bioflok fish culture system. So cost of making already mentioned, shape is round, diameter it is 10,000 liter. Fish species now, tilapia, Oreoctomis niloticus and Anabas obogeus, Vietnam koi, ये 2 मछली हो रहा है. अगर इसमें जिस दिन आपका पाबदा और हाई वैल्यू स्पीसीज होगा बायोफ्लॉक, डेफिनेटली ये प्रॉफिटेबल वेंचर होगा. अभी भी बायोफ्लॉक उस स्टेट में प्रॉफिटेबल है जहां पे तिलापिया का मार्केट वैल्यू है, जहां पे PSY का एनाबस ओबोजियस का मार्केट वैल्यू है. और इसमें थोड़ा सा लेस प्रोटीनस फीड लगता है, लेकिन इसमें रिस्क इन्वॉल्वमेंट है. 24 hours electricity, 24 hours aerations, probiotics, salt, and 24 hours आपको जागना इसका साथ, तब ये बायोफ्लॉक सक्सेस होता है. बट बेनिफिट कॉस्ट रेशियो is very good. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So with this bioflok, this is bioflok technologies for our youngsters and all rural areas. But my submission to this web clinic, इस web clinic से ये हम अपने युवाओं का बार बार ध्यान में रखते हैं. ये निवेदन है कि इसमें थोड़ा साउंड नॉलेज गेन करके तब आप बायोफ्लॉक में, क्योंकि ये जीरो एक्सचेंज सिस्टम, you need not to exchange water, 1 to 2% water to be discharged every day. That is flock to be maintained. But unfortunately, without knowing the subject, without knowing the load of free ammonia, which is a more toxicant to this blocking our fish growth, that people are jumping into this system and they are not gaining profit. So one should have sound knowledge on aquaculture, then you jump to this bioflok technology. Definitely, it is a robust technology. It is very good future in India, and Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana also is promoting this robust technology. Next slide, please. So now, recirculatory bioflok technology. These are the either you can make with a cement tank, or you can make with polythene with a iron mesh this frame. Next slide, please. Recirculatory aquaculture system. Prior to a bioflok system, recirculatory aquaculture system came into existence, but unfortunately, this is a very robust technology where continuously water is being freed from free ammonia. And this is very good. The objective should be, my submission here is that objective should be production of fry to fingerlings, not grow out. Definitely you will be gaining profit per liter water. You can put 3 to 4 numbers. So for example, 5 gram size padda on biomaculators, you put it within 2.5 months or 3 months, it will grow to 10 to 15 grams. Then you sell it out. You'll be gaining a very good profit. That is 10,000 liter. You can put 30,000 fry of 5 gram size, advanced fry of this 5 gram size. So it is a very good option, very good venture for economically high value species like padda, like Shingi, like Magur, like our Jayanti Rohu, fry to fingerling, and Pingba. This normally it is called the Manipur fish, and now it is seed is available, and the freshwater it is called freshwater hilsa also, and very vibrant growth and all. This seed fry to fingerling can be easily grown under this recirculatory aquaculture system. It can be improvised also. Next slide, please. So these are the recirculatory aquaculture. Next slide, please. Recirculatory aquaculture system. These protocols and all being put to this the photographic section session. Next slide. Next slide, please. This is our institute recirculatory aquaculture system. So our institute is a fisheries institute. We put forth this technology for developing our fingerling for our case growth, so that we can put to our case enclosure culture in reservoir and for further growth and all. It has developed very good in Shingi, in Padda. It is given very good result. Only 3 parts. Next slide, please. That one is sand filter, then biofilter, and then UV filter. Next slide, please. So continuously water is becoming filtered to sand filter, so that all fecal matters are being dragged first at sand filter level, then followed by biofilter level. Next slide, please. Then biofilter level. Biofilter should be robust one. Nowadays, very good biofilter here, and the final one is filter, so that water being percolated down to all the these tanks and all. So, but next slide, please. That this technology, the objective, this is our sand filter, this is our biofilter. It should be robust. Nowadays, very good robust biofilter. One can improvise also this biofilter also, and this is a UV filter. Then this is the main mother tank from where water is being, यहाँ से पानी बाकी tank में चले जाते, but इसका सारी fecal matter का continuously being circulated, being blocked in sand filter, then biofilter, then your UV filter. Next slide, please.
Dr. Das, I request you for the sake of the time management to to come to the conclusion.
Yeah, then you have to move my slides now faster. So you are requested to this is case culture. I'm going first just to focus on one words. The case culture, very vibrant technology, more than first go on first. Okay, that we have already marketed this technology. At present, there are, next slide, please. At present, there are 20,000 cages functional across 20 states in India. These are the states, and it is increasing day by day. Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana has also added another 20,000 cages to be put forth. Then it would be around 40,000 cages. Next slide, please. So kindly move my slides very fast because there are a number of slides. And these are the case activities where our former DG Dr. S. Arpan also being viewed on these technologies under FIDO projects, CG projects first. Kindly move my slides first. So these are the species to be grown under this case culture where this is Chandi Lantal, my director, is being viewed, and very good. And this is very good options for the noxalites. That more than 90% noxalisms rather being driven into this normal life through this case culture system. CFA has developed case grow feed also side by side, and we are promoting this case grow feed already marketed and all. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So side by side, this case grow feed already marketed by CFA, and it works well. And case culture is first move. Please move slide faster. Number of slides are there. This case culture in largest reservoir in India, this Indira Sagar, and it works well. Even in Manipur, Assam, Samaguri Bill, and Loktak Lake, Manipur, even in riverine systems. We are promoting riverine system case culture in Hirakud, the round case, and these are the 3 species called devil fish that to clean our case and case for women empowering women in our these honorable MOS Babul Supriyoji's adopted village Shidabari. We have given cages for empowering women. Even these integrated farming system along with kids, brick clean ponds, more than 2 lakhs brick clean ponds across India. There are open colliery pits where from we lifted coal. This is in Anuppur district, Madhya Pradesh, and imbibing these years, we developed this case culture there. And many seniors used to say that caves are polluting our water. No, our case, just a minute here, 1 second, that present status 20,000 kgs, only 2.5%. And we can go up to 2 lakh kgs. So only 5% we just now covered. That our this technologies pen culture system, kindly forward this slide, that initially we used to use bamboo. Now with this advancement of technology, we have erased out this no bamboo mat, because bamboo is very costly day by day. We are creating pressure on forest. Only net is there. This is the this is our pen. Please move forward. This is our pen, already marketed pen. Pen in Loktak Lake, no bamboo mat is there. It works well. And pen culture under TSP tribal subplan, under SCSP projects we are promoting without any bamboo mat. Now this new concept we developed, this floating pen, simply blocking the base. This is Indira Sagar. We are producing numbers of finger. This is canal fisheries in Sundarbans, already I mentioned, where people can work on that. And number of other technologies are e-atlas. Since CP has covered more than 19 states of water resources, inventarization of water resources, so as to help to support this community electronic data system. Sitting in your room, you will be collecting the fish catch data of larger group of user person. So it being used by this our women self-help group also. So that one step PCR based tilapia lake virus, very dreaded dreaded diseases being developed. Then formalin test kit so far. Now with this development of this testing formalin kit, now adult with formalin for more preservation being blocked. Then care that argulas the low dose chemicals being developed with fortification. And then nutrifish number of apps side by side being developed. Data repository on IFC breeding biology. Then number of portals being developed. Climate change vulnerability map, pollution benchmarking. Then impact of conservation management action plans for Chilica lagoons, and database on Microsoft Access. Decision tree for management of Assam wetlands, more than 106 wetlands. We did work and we are supporting them. Then this the most important one is highly activities. So just the back is the previous slide. The back please. Back on the earlier on last but one that kindly back the slide please. River ranching. It works well more than just one slide back down. Is down once 8 slide down. So just above, just another one slide. Just down it. Just down it. That river ranching, that we want to promote this river ranching. That Ministry of Water Resources and NMCG, Namami Clean Ganga project. It is highly acclaimed technology, and we want to develop this sort of river ranching programs in number of rivulets and other rivers also, with the these indigenous fishes, the brooders being taken care of from that, then reduce breeding, hypopization, then growing the fingerlings and putting it to the same river. So far, since these down Haridwar to Kolkata, we released more than 40 lakh fingerlings to rejuvenate fishery in our Ganga system. And our Uma Bharati ma'am, earlier our honorable cabinet minister of these water resources, she also released along with our director. So this is very vibrant projects and technologies. We want to percolate it to other riverine systems across India to rejuvenate riverine fishery. So with this and a number of our other sister institutes, total 8 fisheries institutes are working at tandem to develop this freshwater sector, this carry forwarding, these preservations and all, then value additions, and including our marine cages and all our Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute. Phineas Benamai last year, we earned more than 45,000-6,000 crores. Now target is 1 lakh crores. So with these, I am concluding at this that this is the very vibrant sector, and regularly all the institutes, 8 institutes are working at tandem, taking care of all the percolating knowledge to our KVK. हम लोग KVK को आत्मा का साथ जुड़े हैं, हम लोग 8 के साथ जुड़े हैं. ये नॉलेज को परकोलेट करके रूरल यूथ को हम लोग इनवाइट करके इस सेक्टर को आगे बढ़ाएंगे. प्रधानमंत्री का मत्स्य संपदा योजना का और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री का सपना का हम लोग साकार करेंगे। डबलिंग फार्मर्स इनकम बहुत ज्यादा दूर नहीं है, हम लोग 2022-2025 के अंदर ही इसी को हम लोग डबलिंग फार्मर्स इनकम का तरफ हम लोग आगे चलेंगे अगर ये टेक्नोलॉजी का हम लोग अपना ले, इस टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ हम लोग चले। थैंक यू ऑल, थैंक यू वेरी मच। फिश फॉर फूड, income, sustainability and health. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Das. I think please be with us. There are certain questions, like we'll come back to you, but in order to take it, please let talk forward. You would like to be here with us, Professor J.M. Kataria, who is the RBA Director of Central African Research Institute in Nagar. And I request Professor Kataria to share with us that what is the advancement in the medicine for the poultry has taken place, so that they can be taken advantage by the NGOs and community. Professor Kataria, please. Professor Kataria, please. From Vigyan, Prasar, could you please, project his slides?
Hello.
Yes, Professor. Yes.
Hello.
Professor Kataria. Yes, Professor Kataria, we can hear you.
I am not able to listen anything.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear? Hello. Can you hear?
Dr. Datta, I am not able to listen anything.
Achha, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you, sir. Colleagues from Vigyan, Prasar, could you please help?
Hello. Can I start? If you are able to listen me, I can start, but I am not able to listen any sound.
We are here. We are listening. We can hear you, sir. Actually, I think there are two, you have logged in from 2 accounts. I think that is creating problem. I see there are 2 accounts from where you have logged in. Yeah, I think Dr. Kataria, you have logged in from 2 accounts. Therefore, it is creating, I think that is creating problem. Hello.
Yeah, if you are able to listen me, I will just continue, but I am not able to listen. So, okay, thank you. So I am starting. Let me go to the first slide. Thank you so much for the organizer and to the participants and the persons who have joined this. I will be just discussing about the poultry vaccine and diagnostics, both which are available not only in IVRI but in other part of the country also. And maybe I don't know why I am not getting the sound, but I can continue. If you are able to listen, I will continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So if you look to the poultry, poultry has become an industry now, and it is progressing with very fast pace. And if you look to the poultry, it is like commercial poultry, and we have the backyard poultry, or recent terminology is family poultry, we call it. So if you look to the poultry does not give only egg or meat. It is being used for so many other things. Like first we eat egg and meat. Eggs are used for therapeutic protein, mass production, and low cost. Now this therapeutic proteins, like we make so many other things from the egg powder. We separate the albumin, we separate the egg yolk and use it for our different purposes. And disease cancer development model. Poultry being the small egg is very handy, and it can be easily managed, it can be handled, it can be put, lot of egg embryos can be put into the incubator at a time, require very less space. So that way it is very economical, quite handy, very convenient, we can use. Now and it is one of the very important source for convergence and translational research, whatever we are doing. Because nowadays, if you must have heard, it is more than now 20-25 years ago that we are having SPF eggs, that is specific pathogen free eggs, which are really free of most of the pathogens which are listed, which are pathogenic to human being and poultry also. So that can be used, and there is no other system which can alter the precipitation of any pathogen. We can inoculate and see the changes it produces, or we can grow into the eggs. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah. So if you look to the poultry in India, it is extremely hopeful and experienced. Now you can see that with the space we are growing 8.8 per year, and maybe that it will go even further. Even during this period, there was definitely there was some slowing down of the poultry, but now it has picked up and it is going very high. Even if you see the egg price, it was not there even the last year what we are getting. Today, in the month of October, the egg price we are getting in the market is high. So it has got a very big role to play. And we are the one of the third largest egg producer in the country with 227 million layers. And we compounded annual growth rate is 8%. So it is, even if this lockdown with the corona and other things, there was definitely big hue and cry that poultry can spread, poultry can be carrier. Nothing was like that, and it was just sometimes it happens, it comes and it goes in the media and other things, and people they become very afraid. But nothing is like that. Poultry coronavirus is completely different what human are experiencing. There is no correlation. They may be the same family, but they are the different. And poultry consumption, egg consumption has again picked up. Next, please. Next slide. Yeah. So you can see that where we stand after US, China, Brazil, we are on the fourth on production of poultry egg, and we are also galloping through the poultry meat. And if you look to the poultry industry, it is a lot of egg and meat it is giving, and it is also giving the revenues, and it is a very good via media for the income generation, for the livelihood. You can say 65,000 million eggs we are producing annually, 3.58 million broiler we are producing annually, and 90,000 crore. India is estimated poultry market. We are having 90,000 crore poultry market. That is really a very big to the poultry to the country for in the rank of you can say livelihood, economic growth, even all the economic livestock sector. If you see, poultry is going very fast. Next, please. Next slide. Now, because here this web clinic has been organized with the idea how to give an idea to our young people or other people, entrepreneurs, to be self-dependent. They need not to be dependent on the others. Rather, they should create more avenues, and we should go some new technology. So I will be going one by one diseases. What are the vaccines are in use? What we can do into that. Now, this is the first disease that is called as Marek's disease, or we call in field MD. This is a lymphoproliferative disease, a cancerous condition of poultry, for which even the cause is defined and there are good vaccines are available, which are working very well. But you must have heard that even the corona, which affected the human last year, and now it is changing. It is changing. So virus, definitely they keep on changing. So sometimes the vaccine what we use today may not be effective after some time. So Merex, there is a very good vaccine. We use it, HVT-N plus SB1. It works very well. But in poultry, because we keep in very big flocks, so sometimes we make some lapses in the biosecurity, and that lead to the spread of disease, and that brings down the whole establishment. Now, this is one of the disease which is endemic in our country, endemic in every form. You cannot ignore vaccination. Vaccines are good, working good, but sometimes there is a in field industry people, they are observing that some new very virulent virus has come up, which is not being controlled. But I think there is a need to work, and we follow the system properly about the biosafety and biosecurity. These vaccines works very well. Even there is another strain that is Rispin, we call Rispin strain, but in India we don't use it. Some of the developed country they are using it, but in India it is not been permitted to use, because HVT is definitely a herpes virus of Merex disease group, but it is not a pathogenic or neoplastic. But Rispin is a very low neoplastic, which may turn into pathogenic. That is the reason, since we don't have the established fact that we have the very virulent MD in the country, we have to establish it. Work is going on in many parts like Tanuvas and other universities, and they are coming up. So in this, what vaccine we are using is a whole cell vaccine, that is a liquid to be preserved, liquid nitrogen. And for this, we need liquid nitrogen. And there is another aspect of this vaccine where we can produce the recombinant vaccine, and that can be very well given with other vaccine. Now, HVT, if you see in this slide, it is given in the 1 day. That is given in the hatchery itself. Chicks should not go out without vaccination. If they are the layer, if they are the commercial, if they are the broilers, they are the, you can say the parent flock, whatever, that should be vaccinated. Next, please. Now, another disease is Newcastle disease. We also call it Ranikhet disease. This is also a viral disease and very old disease in our country, reported in 1928 in Ranikhet. Most of the people must be knowing it. Where is Ranikhet? Just near Almora, there is a place, Ranikhet, and it was first isolated there and diagnosed and identified at Mukteswar Kumaon of IVRI. And in this, if you don't vaccinate, there will be very high mortality. And in the young chicks, there will be respiratory symptoms, and there will be egg problem, egg deformities will come, cell-less egg may also come. And the vaccines which are available in India, we have one F strain and another is R2B strain. That is, we also call it Mukteswar strain because developed at Mukteswar. So we give this vaccine at 5 to 7 days first, and then at 21 days with the Lasota, or we can say F vaccination. You can give either oculonasal, intranasal, drinking water, depending on the system where we can ensure the effective delivery to each and every chicks. Because the vaccine should go to all the chicks. And then subsequently we can go for the breeder flocks or more vaccinations. Now, if you can see in this table, there are even for one disease, there are 4 to 5 vaccinations. So there is a scope to combine these vaccine strains with other, what I was talking about, the Marek's disease. Already experimental studies has been done in the country, and there is a lot of demand to import these strain recombinant, where HVT and Ranikhet disease virus have been made a recombinant and can be used. It is working very well. But point is, what strain we are having and what vaccine we are importing, they may not be genetically having similarity, may not be homologous, but there should be similarity so that it should protect. So there is always risk, and it may not work. Then blame will go to the vaccine. So in our country, we have developed HVT with RDF, and it's working well. And there is a big area which can be definitely explored, utilized by our industry people, and they can work it on this. It is working very well, and they can apply it. Next, please. Next slide. Infectious bursal disease. That is, we also call it Gumboro disease or bursal disease. This is again a very important viral disease. And in this, there will be very, spiking mortality. There will be a sudden peak in the mortality, and then by the time 70% birds will go in 5 to 7 days, by 10, 15 days, mortality will come down. What mortality will come down? Already the chicks have gone. And the important is the chicks of 3 to 6 weeks are more susceptible. Now in this, you can see the dull chicks. This is a dull chicks. And you can see the vent, it is swelled. And you can see the breast muscle, thigh muscles, all hemorrhages. In this, there is a high mortality, and the birds which recover, because this is a disease which affects the immune system. It affects the bursa, is a lymphoid organ which affects the bursa. So immunity goes down. Nowadays we talk of, everybody is giving so many preparations to boost the immunity, So this bursa itself affects the immune system, and the birds become, even the recovered birds that have very weak immunity, and they come down with many other diseases. So there will be a continuous loss due to bacterial diseases. And this is a continuous loss to the farm. Now, if we look to the vaccine, whatever we are having in the country, that is a classical strain of vaccine or intermediate, and intermediate plus also. You are seeing in the table, plain, intermediate plus. So we give so many vaccination. Again, 4 vaccination, that is in the breeder flock. In the commercial flock, we give it 12 days, then at 28 days. That is a broiler, it has gone to the table, it's over. But for other, we have to repeat the vaccination. And whatever vaccine we are using at present, they are all imported strains. Some strains has been developed in the country, but there is a need. There is a need for the industry to take it up and make their own. I tell you, definitely these strains which are indigenous, they will give better production than the other. One has to take it to the lab and produce the vaccine. That is a cell culture propagated vaccine. It's working very well. But, this virus is having a very peculiar character. If there are antibody in the chicks vaccinated, it will neutralize the vaccine virus, and there will not be any immunity. So monitoring of maternal antibody is very important in IBD in the young chicks when you go for vaccination, that we call maternal antibody level. Then next, please. Next slide. Infectious bronchitis. That is what I was talking about. The corona. So this is poultry coronavirus, which causes IB. It is very important economically because it affects the most parts of the body. It affects the respiratory tract, it affects the oviduct, it affects the kidney. You take it all in the young chicks, if it is there, it will cause the respiratory symptoms. And even if the chicks recover, virus will get localized, and when the birds they grow, if they are layer, it will damage the oviduct permanently and they become non-layer, or due to damage to the ovary they will be internal layer. Now you can see this is the kidney, how the kidney are swollen, and this is the atrophied ovary, and you see the eggs. Egg cell is very thin. So this is how you can recognize in the field whether IB has come. Now if we come to the vaccines, slightly we can lift the slide slightly. Table I want to show. Yeah, thank you. So you can see in IB again all imported strains are being used, and this is the H120, IB killed, H42, H52, 41, like that. There are so many vaccines. And another big problem is in poultry, what we are facing. We are importing. Most of the houses, they import, repack, and give to the birds for the market. Okay, because since we don't have, they have to import. Either we should give something. If we are not able to, then give them permission. That is what is happening. And you know, IB is such a virus, it gives very low and short immunity, IB vaccines. So there are repeated vaccinations are given to the bird. You can see 1 day, 21 day, 80 days. Then in the week you can go to our breeders' flock, so many vaccinations. You can see the cost, it add to the cost. In poultry, every paisa added to the raising of poultry add to the cost. We are not raising 1, 2 or 10. It goes in 1,000, it lakhs. So you can multiply that much is the cost. So IB, there are many strains locally available again, which can be taken up, and vaccine can be definitely produced in the country. And whatever I am telling, in poultry, if you want to set up an vaccination unit, vaccine production unit, it may not be very big propositions like other animals. And the vaccines which are required, very important diseases, you can produce 4 to 5 vaccines easily. So for IB also, we are using it. And there are other vaccines, but definitely these vaccines are working very well. We can go for recombinant vaccines, we can go for inactivated vaccines, but it has got its own merit and some shortcomings. Next, please. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, thank you. Now, another very important and very old, but the good point of this thing is it is a very stable virus. You know, pox, in smallpox we have been able to eradicate because the virus was quite stable, and cowpox virus was giving cross protection, and that was working very well. But in poultry, this is the fowl pox, and in poultry, almost all the species having their own pox, like canary pox, quail pox, there's turkey pox, there are different pox, and they can infect each other. But the vaccine which is available is fowl pox, and earlier even pigeon pox vaccine was used for young chicks, because we don't give pox vaccine to our young chicks. We give at 6 weeks. And that gives lifelong immunity. But when it occurs, it affects the respiratory tract, buccal cavities, eyes, wherever you find there are no feather, it forms the pock-like lesions. Wart will be formed in the shank gland, in the neck, or eyelids, like that it will go. And that vaccine, what we are using is a good vaccine. It is giving good protection, but now new technology has come up for pox also, where we can give pox with avian encephalomyelitis. That is being tried in some country, but not in ours. Next, please.
Yeah, expedite, because
Next slide.
we have another session.
Now, this is another disease which has been introduced recently, you can say last 10, 12 years, chicken infectious anemia virus. As name indicates, infectious anemia means it affects the lymph, you can say the blood forming mother cells, thromboblast. It causes the degeneration of the cells in the bone marrow, in the liver. It causes, you can see this picture, this is completely pale, this bone marrow, this long bone completely pale. And this virus has got, a habit to immunosuppress, again, like infectious bursal disease. This also causes immunosuppression. It affects thymus. We have thymus in our throat region, 2 lobes, but in poultry we have 3 pair and 1 separate. So like that, there are a lobe along the neck, and it causes degeneration in the thymus and also in bursa. So when the lymphoid organ is affected, definitely there will be impact on the immunity development. This is immunosuppressive. When there is immunosuppression, you can see these chicks is having, like, something is putrefying, because it causes immunosuppression. When immunity goes down, even the normal strap which are present normally even on the skin and the birds, they causes the liquefaction of the skin, and we call it blue wing disease, because it causes the discoloration, bluing, and then putrefying subsequently. Now, this is an area where a vaccine is definitely not permitted so far in the country, but it is being used. I am talking from this platform. And vaccine, again, this is such a tedious virus. Even the attenuated virus, if you passage attenuate even for more than 200 passages in lymphoblast cell line, that is MSB1, there will be some parent virus, means pathogenic virus. So when you use vaccine, there is always risk. It may come up, it may flare up and cause the disease. So we use inactivated vaccine, and it gives good production, and it is also being produced in the country, and there is a need. We should have our own strain. It is widely prevalent in the country. You can see 73% incidence in India, because what happens, sometimes disease may not be very frank, but this may cause problem due to immunosuppression. Next, please. Next slide. Then another is hydropericardium syndrome, that is leachy disease. You can see the heart, and this is the pericardial sac full of fluid, and liver is also affected. This is also, again, it has come up due to immunosuppression, otherwise file-adenovirus. Earlier, they were considered to be orphan viruses, you can say, and now, but it is producing diseases, and there are so many types and subtype of it, and due to its appearance, we call it also leachy disease, and for this also we are using killed vaccine. Why I am mentioning it, the killed vaccine there, but since we don't have the strain, or strain have been developed but has not gone to the field, has been taken up by the industry. So a lot of scope for using this strain and producing the vaccines. Next, please. I don't know how much time I am having. Next, please. Similarly, a bacterial disease, infectious coryza, it affects from young chicks to the adult. There will be, you can see the swollen eyes. There will be sort of exudate pus because it is not liquefied in poultry, and it causes a lot of problem in the field. It is a huge problem, particularly in the southern part of the country, and there are different types of the bacteria, and these are being used, and it is producing good immunity, but they are not a very good immunogen, but being used quite frequently in the field, and there is a scope to develop where all the 4 subtype can be put together and vaccine can be used. Next, please. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. Now I will come to the part which is important for our, for the startup, for the industry. There are some point like we don't have any vaccination policy for ILT, infectious laryngotracheitis, hydropericardium, and low pathogenic avian influenza. Now, there are some obvious reasons. Here, very important factor is industry and government agency, they have to work in licensing. Even when I was in service, I tried my level hard to bring to them together, and I got also success in that. Some part that industry is definitely, they are coming forward to the technology, but there are few poultry houses which are venturing into this aspect to take it up, but still we are not having that much to meet the requirement of the country poultry populations. Now we don't do vaccination for LPI, low pathogenic, because any influenza, it is continuously mutating, changing. So we use some strain, it may cause problem after some time, it may not protect. As I said, the vaccine MD, we are not using the Rispin strain. No, I also feel it is not required. The movement, there are reports that in the field there is a change in the different subtypes of ND has come up, Newcastle disease, and we have to take some more incorporation of the strains, but it requires a lot of the field research inputs and working, then we can use. Now, as I said, this ND cloned strain and thermostable strains definitely is working very well, need to be taken up by the industry. Technology available, we can use it. And in field, we are using ND Lesotho strain, which is definitely, if you use first time in the young kids, it causes respiratory distress. Better to use F strain and then subsequently use the Lesotho. And we have to use some strains very carefully, because like pox virus, similarly IBD, intermediate plus, if they are used in young age, they causes the damage, some level of damage. Like if you remember some of the who has experienced vaccination in their childhood, still that pox scar are there. So that is the reaction. Similarly, if we use intermediate plus, there will be some reaction and the damage is the bursa. So we have to monitor the titer, and then depending on the titer level, we should use it. And of course, we have to follow the biosecurity. Okay, I will finish in another 2 minutes. I am coming. And then another very important is, which is emerging up, is the immune complex vaccine, which can protect the vaccine to get inactivated by maternal antibody. And of course, there are definitely multivalent vaccines which are being used in the field, and there is need to make more combinations, not putting so many, but definitely area-wise, because this can be developed area-wise. We don't have much problem of coryza in northern part. We have more problem in southern part. Similarly, in southern, they are talking about the very virulent MD, but here we don't find it. Maybe that because since poultry is not into that large scale in the northern India, but it is coming up. With the UP government, they are funding, it is coming up. So this is some of the points. And the vaccines which are, I would like to mention few of the vaccines, like, you know, there is technology and that can be taken up, like pelleted vaccine. Means in our village, we cannot take the vial where is 200 or 400 or 500 doses, but definitely we need a small. If we can mix with the feed pellet, we can give 250 gram, 2 kg, 5 kg, depending on the number, with the vaccine virus. It is available. Only thing is, it has to be taken up. In Russia, it is being used, but in our country, still we have to develop that craze to use it and find it out. Then I said the immune complex vaccines are being used. It is being imported, but need to be, you know, our country which has developed, they should be taken up, and we need combined live vaccines to be tested. And I would like to conclude with the one more submission. You know, I have been talking about the vaccination, but in our country, poultry diagnostics are completely, you know, important. We don't produce. There is a very good scope. There is a technology for everything, for every antigen diagnostic. You want to ELISA antigen, it is there. You want AGID antigen, it is there. There are, you know, recombinant antigen, it is there. Even the recombinant, like IBD, we have the empty capsid vaccine, very good development in the country. But industry should come forward to take it up. So I think there are many vaccines like DIVA vaccine, where we can differentiate infected from the, this is going to be very useful for our avian influenza. So this is all about the poultry vaccine in the country. And this is all, most of the technologies are available with the IVRI, with the Tanuvas, with even other veterinary universities. They are having some of the technology. Everybody is having one or two, but that definitely can be utilized for the upliftment, for the better production of our poultry industry. Thank you very much. Sorry, I am not able to listen any of you.
Okay, Dr. Kataria, I think, you know, there is a some sort of like, you know, miscommunications. We can hear you, you couldn't hear us. So thank you very much. And we are going to the, you know, already because of this
If
time.
there is any query, I can answer with this.
We are going into the next, you know, the sessions of this panel, and I request, you know, my colleague Rahul Nair from Agni to coordinate it. Rahul, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Datta. Greetings to you all. आप सभी को नमस्कार. मैं थोड़ा टाइम के हिसाब से मैं थोड़ा जल्दी से ये सेशन करवाना चाहूंगा. मैं इसको शुरू करवाना चाहूंगा. आप सभी को नमस्कार और बहुत धन्यवाद कि आप यहाँ पे आज पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं. भारत सरकार खास करके अनुसंधान की क्षेत्र में भारत सरकार और ISTI और प्रधान वैज्ञानिक सलाहकार कार्यालय की ये इस विषय पे प्राथमिकता देते हैं कि अनुसंधान में जो इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हुए हैं, जो रिसर्च हुआ है, जो इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हुए रिसर्च में, उसका लाभ कैसे उठाएं देश के लिए. खास करके इसका फायदा हम जमीन पे कैसे उठाएं, हम इसका लाभ हम समाज के लिए पैसे कैसे प्राप्त करवाएं, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है. अब करवाने के लिए भारत सरकार की ये प्रायोरिटी है, ये जरूरत है कि हम उद्योग और स्टार्टअप और अनुसंधान संस्थाएं और जमीन पे काम करने वाली संगठनें को हम आयोजित करें और इस आयोजन के जरिए हम जमीन पे टेक्नोलॉजी को बढ़ाएं. हम इसकी जो मूल्य है, इसका जो लाभ है, हम जमीन पे समाज के सामने हम पेश करें, हम मौजूद करें. अब आज ये कैसे हो सकता है, इसमें ऐसे तरीके क्या हो सकते हैं, इसका बढ़ाव कैसे किया जा सकता है, इसको चर्चा करने के लिए आज हमारे चार विशेष और बहुत ही वरिष्ठ एक्सपर्ट हैं जो इस मामले को पे बहस करेंगे, चर्चा करेंगे और इन मामलों पे सलाह देंगे. To start off with this, we'd like to kindly invite Dr. B.C. Mohapatra, please, to make the first presentation. Dr. Mohapatra is from the Central Institute for Freshwater Aquaculture, part of ICAR at Bhubaneswar. He has tremendous experience and expertise in the area of aquaculture and production. He's from the Aquaculture Production and Environment Division. He particularly, aside from his credentials in research, he holds a DSc, of course, in addition to his doctorate. He also has worked in the commercialization of technologies, particularly in carp hatcheries, for example, several years ago, and since then has had a number of various commercialization-focused successes. We'd like to kindly invite Dr. Vikas Chandra Mohapatra to kindly make his presentation on this particular field, on how technology can be commercialized. He'll be particularly focusing on carp seed production and integrated fish farming. After he's finished his presentation, we will then invite the remaining 3 speakers to kindly make their presentations in this area. Dr. Mohapatra, if you can hear us, may we request you to kindly begin your presentation. I believe your slides are up. With great respect, if we might kindly also invite you just to keep an eye on time frame, since I know Dr. Datta wants to make sure that we run this, within our timetables. Thank you so much, sir. Please do proceed.
Thank you, sir. Respected Chairman, are you audible, sir? Are you audible?
We can hear you, sir. Please do proceed.
Okay, thank you, sir. Respected Chairman, respected delegates of the DST, my fellow participants. So I'll be talking very, please, I will not take much time. Sir, you know that present fisheries, aquaculture is one of the prominent sector which is growing very fast in the country, equivalent to the poultry. And carp seed production is integral part of the aquaculture. Sir, now there are many schemes in the government which created many ponds. And there are many reservoirs, but unfortunately, there is not available sufficient seed, quality seed, to stock all the ponds. That's why many ponds are lying idle. If that ponds can be brought into the aquaculture sector, it will be great contribution to the country. And there are many NGOs, many cooperative societies, many village communities. They are owning the pond. They are taking the lease of the pond, but they are unable to get the seed. So my topic is on how to create seed production at the farmer's point. Nowadays, farmers are going to the hatchery to get the seed. So my point here, how the seed producing sectors, units can come near to the farm site so that a farm can get easily the fish seed. That's why in my talk, I will be highlighting how we can bring out a mission mode program in the country so that the quality seed is available to the farmers, aquaculturists, our fish production can increase in the country. Next slide, please. So earlier, sir, actually we used to collect the fish seed from river, but that days has gone. Now we are producing the seed in the captivity. So in the India, we achieved the technology in 1957. That's why July 10 is observed as National Fish Farmers Day. So after that time, the fish breeding was in the hapa, just like mosquito net, ulta mosquito net. Then we have gone to glass jar hatchery. Then we have gone to cement hatchery. Then we have gone to many type of hatchery. But recently, the CIFA has popularized FRP carp hatchery, portable hatchery, which is the star technology of the country now. And it is adding sufficient seed to the country. It is now it is a vibrant technology. Next. Next one. Next, please. This is the hapa, first one. Second one, glass jar hatchery, cement hatchery, portable hatchery. Hapa, just like it is in the mercy of nature. Glass jar is for experiment is good. Cement hatchery is good, but it is stationary. Portable hatchery is mobile. So that it is very famous now in the northeast sector. Next slide. Next one, please. So for any layman, I'm just giving a simple calculation. If you take 1 kg brood fish, the fish having the egg in the belly, 1 kg brood fish can give you 1 lakh spawn. Chota jo machli ka seed. That is 4th day old. 1 lakh spawn in the farmer's field at the lowest survivability rate 30%. You will get 30,000 fry. 30,000 fry within 2 to 3 months, even in the lowest survivability 50%, you will get 15,000 fingerling, just like finger size. And that 15,000 fingerling is sufficient to stock 3-hectare pond. That means 1 kg brood fish can stock 3 hectare. That means 7.5 acres of pond in any given locality. This is the basic calculation for any person to operate hatchery and seed production. Next one. Next, please. This is a photograph I'm showing. This is the hatchery installed at Assam, that is Majoli, the river island. This particular hatchery has 4 components: breeding pool, hatching pool, egg or spawn collection tank, and overhead tank. This particular hatchery, what you are seeing, can produce 10 lakh spawn. That means 10 kilo female, 10 kilo male. Then 10 kg female, if you give to this hatchery, feed this hatchery, within 4 days, you can produce 10 lakh seed. Next one. Next, please. So this is the advantage. What is the advantage of the hatchery? This is plastic. This is easy to transport, easy for installation, low water consumption, easy to repair, less space requirement, less weight and durability up to 3 years. In our institute, I am having hatchery, which is more than 20 years now. In lean season, this hatchery can be used for common carp breeding or even water storing. And this is very good for our biodiversity conservation. This hatchery can be taken to any location. Because of its portability, it is now very famous in the country. Next one. Next. These are the fishes, what I'm giving the picture. These all are suitable to be bred in that particular hatchery. Next. Next, please. Yes, I can show you the hatchery. Till now, we have crossed 500 units in the country, more than 500 units. Around every 4th hatchery in the country is now plastic, which is the technology given by this institute. And we have operated many livelihood programs on this particular hatchery. This became a gadget for many projects in the country. And if you take this hatchery, naturally, you can see 53% has gone to Northeast and Eastern is 25% because the West Bengal, Odisha and Jharkhand, they are mostly seed producing states. So that's why the proportionately you can see how the distribution is. Next one. This is economics. If anybody operating a hatchery with 2 breeding pools, 2 hatching pools, he can get 3.3 lakhs profit in one monsoon season. That means it is highly profitable for any society or any NGO who can adopt the technology. Next. Next, please. See, I'm giving the calculation here. If hatchery operates once, that means up to 4 days, we can get 10 to 20 lakh egg. That 10 to 20 lakh egg ultimately is sufficient to stock 3 hectare of ponds. That means if hatchery is operated once, it can stock 30 hectare of ponds. That means in India, you go any block, which is the minimum unit, at least 600-700 hectares water area may be there. And in a monsoon, within 4 days, whatever seed is produced, that is sufficient to 30 hectare of pond. If this hatchery can be operated for 20 times, which is easy in any one monsoon, covering 3 months. So we can stock at least 600 hectares. That means 1 unit is sufficient for 1 block. Next. This technology is released to the nation on 14th July 2006 by our Honorable Governor of Odisha. Next. This particular, we have operated a DST project recently, which completed in the 10th January, 10th of this year. We have created many good things on the project, where we have given hatcheries, which are in the 4 locations, to the tribal population, and the tribal population who are earning very little. I have given all details to the DST in my project, and this project was declared as a project. And we have given hatcheries. So, which is the basic need for any aquaculture production enhancement system. So, this tribals, next please. Yes, you can see how the hatcheries are being established in the tribal villages in the Ganjam, Odisha, which was affected by Phylene. That is a cyclone happened in Odisha, and this project was given to help the tribal population of 4 blocks through this project. Next, please. Next. Yes, these hatchery locations I am showing how they're established. Mostly ladies farmers were involved. Their family were entirely involved in this. Next one, please. Next one. Yes, next one. Actually, their income now 3 to 4-fold has increased, and it has created a big. And this all the NGOs have been nationally awarded now. I'll show next one. Next one, please. Yes, development of model village. This model village has been published, and there is in Odisha almost all papers highlighted this particular story. And next one, please. Next one, please. Yes, they received the recently our honorable minister, central minister Pratap Sadaiji. He is honoring the team. They achieved success, and particular this achievement has gone from our SIFA side and from a government of Odisha side to every newspaper. They are the successful team who could many times increase their income, and they added pond to their system, additional ponds also. This team got a national award. Next. This is from DST project only. Another village, Sujan Sai village. Same thing, a poor village having hardly 50 persons in the village. They were adopted, and they also adopted our fish seed rearing, fish seed production and culture. They also increased 2.9 times more production from their culture area. Next. Then Ambapur village. This is a poor village. We have adopted them, and proudly I can say, they even whatever benefit they got, even they contributed 5,000 rupees to the Kerala flood. They got the certificate and issued from them also. And this particular village, now they are observing our August 15 and January 26, which they never observed in the. And this particular village also increased the production from 0.9 ton to 3.3 tons per hectare per year. And they also got awarded in the National Fish Farmers Day. This particular 3 villages, out of many villages, they are the model villages, and publication has come out. There are several newspapers highlighted their story, and they got nationally recognized. Next. This is one more thing I want to highlight. Now, many reservoirs in the country, the fishing rights of the reservoirs are given to the cooperative societies, mostly women societies or fishermen society. But what happens? They simply go and catch the fish from the reservoir, but less people, less societies, they generally stock the reservoirs. Now, question comes, while stocking the reservoir point is coming, they should stock naturally the bigger fingerling, because in reservoir they cannot harvest the predatory fishes or weed fishes. Naturally, they have to stock the bigger fingerlings. Getting bigger fingerling in the reservoir side is very difficult, and it is very costly, and getting also in time also difficult. That's why we are proposing that floating nursery has to be erected in the reservoirs so that they can stock spawn, which is the basic requirement for the nursery rearing. So spawn can be stocked in the designed hopper, and in the reservoir they can stock it. After 2 to 3 months, when the fish attains bigger fingerling size, more than finger size, that can be released in the reservoirs. So that way the reservoirs can be stocked by the fingerlings. So in future they can catch more fish from the reservoirs. That's why reservoirs should be provided with nurseries, so that in the same environment the seed can be reared. Next, please. Next, please. This is the model what we have developed in our institute. Because in the left side photo you can see we have erected a floating nursery where spawn to fry, and right side you have seen the cages where we have taken spawn to fry in the left side photo, and the right side we have taken the fry to fingerling. So this particular reservoir was after the release of all the fingerlings in the reservoir. This is a model I am proposing, so that this particular model can be replicated in most reservoirs, so that societies associated with the reservoirs can get Atmanirbhar. Next. Next, please.
Dr. Mahapatra, thank you so much for all the technology you're showing us. Maybe please request you just to start slowly speeding up, sir, just to wrap up a couple of these. We'll then move to the next one. Sorry to have interrupted you, but we'll just make sure we have enough time for your fellow panelists.
Only 2-3 slides. So, integrated fish farming, because you know that integration of fish culture along with the animal component or horticulture component. So we can take duckling so that the duck can give the aeration in the pond. We can take next slide, please. We can go to the even horticultural crops on the pond, or we can go to the piggery, which is very famous in the Northeast. And we have brought out a big publication, fish cum pig culture in the Arunachal Pradesh, in the aquaculture SCA. Next, sir, next one. So next is the aquaponics system. This now latest talk is the aquaponics, because RAS and the biofloc and aquaponics. Aquaponics is nothing but aquaculture along with horticulture. Next, I will show the photographs in which the fish waste can be utilized in the horticultural crops associated in the aquaponics system. Next one. Next, please. Here we are having a fish culture tank, biofilter, rectangular hydroponic tank, and we are having a sump. These are the 4 components. Fish culture tank will have fish, biofilter to clear the ammonia, FRP hydroponics where you have our plants, and a sump where you collect the clear water from the hydroponic tank and again send back to the fish culture tank. Last slide, please. Last, please. Yes, this is the photographs. Because it is a model we have developed here and already published in the LCA Production Aquaculture Engineering. This is a design we have given. So by this, we can go to the rooftop, we can go to the village front in the small space, also we can erect the aquaponic system. Next, please. Thank you. So I can propose here this seed rearing practice and seed production system can be taken in the mission model program, taking many NGOs together, where we can serve as the leading person to train them to send the message to everybody how to rear the seed, how to popularize the technology that can be taken up in the country. Thank you.
Dr. Mohapatra, thank you so much for your presentation, sir. Thank you for a very specific list of field-tested technologies with a clear track record, which is very helpful. इसके बाद जो है मैं अग्नि कार्यक्रम को संभालता हूँ, जो कि प्रधान वैज्ञानिक सलाहकार कार्यालय से जो है जो कार्यक्रम है टेक्नोलॉजी कमर्शलाइजेशन पे खास करके ध्यान देता है इस विशेषता पे हम आपको अप्रोच करते हैं डॉक्टर महापात्रा. We'll get in touch with you in collaboration with DST and we'll see how we can possibly help advance that. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, sir. I'd like to invite our next panelist on board. This is Dr. VP Harigovindan from NIT Puducherry, who will be presenting on IoT-based water quality monitoring systems in aquaculture. इस चर्चा में एक विशेषता ये है और एक प्राथमिकता ये है कि हम आमदनी को कैसे बढ़ाएं, खास करके आजीविका के क्षेत्र में आमदनी को कैसे बढ़ाएं. जो छोटे किसान हैं, जो छोटे फार्मर हैं, कई तरीके की जो पिछली प्रेजेंटेशन जो अभी हमने देखा है वो इस विशेषता हमने उस प्रेजेंटेशन में देखा है और आने वाले प्रेजेंटेशन में भी हम देखने वाले हैं. Thank you so much, Dr. Harigovindan. If we can please request you to come online while your slides are put up. Dr. Harigovindan, am I audible? Can you see and hear us?
He's here. I see Dr. Harigovindan VP is there. I think his microphone is on also, but I don't see that, his voice is not audible.
I see. Dr. Harigovindan, if you can see us, can you please turn if you can hear us, can you try and turn the camera on that we at least we know that you're connected?
Yeah, because I see him on the list on the right hand side. And yes, his microphone is on also, but I think there is somehow we cannot see him.
I see. With your kind permission, sir, while we try and contact Dr. Harigovindan, maybe would you advise that we proceed with Dr. Rajkumar's presentation, sir? In the
Yes, sure, Dr. Rajkumar, yeah.
Right. So, Dr. Rajkumar, if we may kindly invite you to make your presentation while we get in touch with Dr. Harigovindan and sort out any technical issues he may have. Are we audible and visible to you, sir?
Yeah. I'm audible, sir.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. Rajkumar, thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Rajkumar will be making a presentation on meat preservation technology. He is at the Central Institute for Research in Goats, which of course, and this of course will be vital to rural livelihood and livestock initiatives across the country. Sir, if we can request you please to proceed. We'll try and get your slides up in the meantime. Dr. Anuradha, if it may be possible. Yeah, I think the presentations are up. Please do proceed.
I have sent you on video also. Is it possible to run the video right now? First,
video, Dr. Rajkumar, because of the bandwidth, video is difficult. We have put it on the ISTI portal because video we cannot run on this because of the bandwidth issue.
Okay, it's okay. Then I will go ahead with the, because we have put a lot of effort on that video. Anyhow, good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. V. Rajkumar from Central Institute for Research on Goats, Magdum, Ramakra. We are working on meat processing area, especially on goat products technology. Today, the presentation will be on meat preservation technology, especially the retard pouch process. So, there are a lot of preservation technologies available in this country, but the problem of meat processing is that is spoiled very fast. That is within a few hours or so, it will be spoiled. So the meat needs to be stored in the refrigeration or in the frozen conditions, which invite a lot of energy. Therefore, the cost of preservation increases. So in that case, scientists were looking for different type of technologies wherein we can keep the product under room temperature. Especially the countries like India or their developing countries, where the refrigeration technologies are not much available, especially for longer period, cold chain maintenance. So in that case, the retard pouch processing comes for the rescue. Previously, the retard pouch processing was scanning technology. It is nothing but scanning technology where they have converted into retard pouch processing. So, for the entrepreneur or any meat processing sector, this is not getting popular, but still the products are now available, especially in the chicken meat products. Curry meat products are available, especially biryani, something like that. This kind of products in retard pouch is now in the market, but not very much popular. Though it is available in India for several years, maybe because of some of the reasons where like dry type of meat products, like we know sausages, nuggets, which are not able to be kept under the room temperature. So we were working on this area for several years, and the DST has given funding. From that, we have developed a lot of technologies where we can preserve meat and meat products under temperature, especially the nuggets. Non-curry products can be kept at temperature for longer period, like it can be kept at room temperature for 3 months, 6 months, like that. So this is the technology which we have developed, which we want to present here for the commercial people who especially wanted to start such a entrepreneur who start up, or for the rural people where nowadays this kind of technology is coming. So in this presentation, where I have attached, as they have told, the video has been prepared on this complete processing, how it is being prepared. So that is available in the website. As they have told, you can go through that. That will be more enlightening. And now I'll be presenting some of the work we done. Next slide, please. So some of the products which I am showing, this is goat milk paneer curry we have prepared, goat meat curry we have prepared. These are self-stable at room temperature for 6 months. Next, please. Next, these are some of the goat meat biryani where we can keep at room temperature. This is a record code. Next, please. This is goat meat nuggets, which I am talking about. That these kind of products can be kept at a room temperature. Previously, this kind of technologies were not available. This is a dry type of meat product. There is no curry at all, and we have modified a little bit the method of preparation, so we can keep the product for 3 months at room temperature. Dry type of products like nuggets at room temperature. Next. So these are some of the products which we have prepared. Next. Next, this is a paneer curry which we have prepared, goat meat paneer. This is goat meat curry which we have prepared under retard post processing. So this is the F0 value which we have come across for the goat meat curry, which is having 10.334 value, where this product can be processed during this period, and all the temperatures can be monitored. Then we can have this, such values more than sufficient. There is no need to go for more F0 value like 16 or 40. So 10 itself it is sufficient. Next. This is for the biryani. We have calculated where 6.92 is sufficient F0 value, where we can prepare the product. Next. So these are some of the characteristics we have studied, where the moisture content and control product means we have kept the product under the frozen condition, because under frozen we have to compare what is the energy level it is lost, and in the retard what is the level it is there. So almost similar values we have seen for the product which is prepared under normal condition and kept in the room temperature, as in the frozen condition and in the retard temperature. Next, please. So these are some of the instrumental values which lightness, redness, yellowness value. Mostly we expect that whenever we do retard processing, the color values goes down. So slightly it is going down because of the curry which we are using, or spices we are using in the product. So much difference were not observed as far as the instrument color values are concerned. So for the consumer, the retard products can be more acceptable. That's what we want to show in this slide. Next. So this is for the fresh meat curry, where the shear force value slightly increases. That is because the work of shear also slightly increases because of retard post processing. But as far as consumer values are concerned, this is working well. Next. So these are all the for the biryani. Similar values we have observed. There were much differences we have observed. Next. This is for the color values. In this also we have not observed much differences. So for the consumer, this will be more useful. Next. Again, the work of shear when we are using for biryani cases, which is not giving much difference because of having more rice content. Next. So this is for the goat meat patties we have worked, which I am talking like goat meat patties, which is a dry product, and goat meat nuggets dry product, where we can work. We can now preserve under the retard post processing technology. The hardness values and these things slightly under control, where we can have the data here. So this is from this data we can observe that this product having after data processing also this is working back. Next. Similarly, goat meat kebab, which what I want to show here is like all traditional products also we can preserve under using data codes processing. So kebab also we have tried, and now it is stable under room temperature in retard pouches. For 3 months we can kept, and almost all the data were coming positive. This kind of products also can be, those who are working want to have this type of products in the market, different type of products, even traditional products they want to keep in the market. So they can also use this technology for the marketing of their products. This is the data for the nuggets. Lightness value slightly came down. Gumminess, chewiness values also slightly higher, but all are almost under control. So this can be used. So what we found from the data is, yes, this kind of products can be very well used in the field conditions, and it can be useful for the consumers and those entrepreneurs who wanted to start this kind of business can have their sound data and they have start this. Next, please. So again, we have studied the amino acids contents in the different products, whether there were a change, except some of the histidine, most of the values were almost similar in the products. So that's how we can convince. Next. So similarly, the self-life studies, all these things we have seen in the data post processing. So some of the values which were slightly changes, but still it is having good good characteristics for up to 2 months. Next, please. So these are all the detailed value studies conducted on the sausages, different months. So up to 2 months, this is not having any issues. So this product at room temperature can be kept under for more than 2 months in the product. Next, please. So similarly, we have conducted all the microbiological counts, and there were no there is no problem with microbiological status of the product. So they can be stored under room temperature without any issues. Next.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dr. Rajkumar. May I request you just to select the next few slides and gently start wrapping this up? Sorry to press you. It's just because of the time, overflow.
I am going fast with this. These are some of the sensory characteristics. Oh, sure. Next, please. So we have a few slides more. Please. Next slide. Next one. So these are all the sausage products which we have prepared without post processing. Next. Again, kebab details are given where how it is being processed. We can have room to the next, please. So these are all the data which related to kebab. Next. This is regarding the microbial status. All are in good condition. Next. So these are the sensory values where which is very much useful for the consumer. So again, they were rated good when they are in the post processing. Next. So this is the kebab product which we have prepared under retard pouches. Next. Again, we have in the nuggets, omega-3 enriched goat meat nuggets also processed in the retard post processing. They were also maintained good shelf life under room temperature. Next. So this is the data related to the omega-3 enriched goat meat nuggets for the pouches, retard pouches. Next. So this is the microbial status of the products of omega-3 enriched product, which is safe. Next. This is the pictorial this thing for the goat meat nuggets enriched with the omega-3. Next. Small size patties also we have prepared. So I want to show how this product, various type of products can be prepared under a retard post processing. Next. So these are all the data related to that process. Next. So this is the pictorial representation of the patties prepared by retard post processing. This is how it is looking. This is having self-life more. Next. So this is, we have compared with the Amul paneer curry and goat meat paneer, where we have compared after retarding what type of characteristic it is maintaining. Almost similar data were coming except few in moisture and hardness value, which we observed. Next. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajkumar. You went through a lot of material very swiftly, and we appreciate it very much. We also particularly appreciate the value of the technologies that you've shown and its importance for value addition across large swathes of rural India, particularly in areas that have limited fertility, where mutton is very important, areas like Rajasthan, areas like central India as well. So this is very useful technology. Thank you, sir. And you also showed some very clear products, which we appreciate very much. Thank you so much. I've just been in touch with Dr. Harigovindan over WhatsApp. Dr. Harigovindan, I believe your technical issues are now sorted out. Can you, are we audible and visible to you?
Yes, sir. Hope I am audible.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll just kindly request the DST facilitation team to put your slides up, and we can then proceed with your presentation. Thank you for joining us. To our audience, Dr. Harigovindan will be talking about IoT-based water quality monitoring in aquaculture, which again is fundamental, as is the previous presentations been, to value addition for smaller farmers and medium-sized farmers dealing with animal husbandry. Yes, your presentation's up, Dr. Harigovindan. Can you please do proceed? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Here I'm going to present about a IoT-based low-cost water quality monitoring and reporting system for aquaculture. So this is related to some of the inventions as the part of my DST seed funded project. And the objective of the project is to apply the technological advancements in the field of aquaculture. Next slide. Yeah, so here the contents is an introduction, then the low-cost water quality monitoring system, which is developed by using the concept called virtual sensing, then minimizing the error by applying the concept of machine learning, then the water quality prediction system using machine learning. So here the concept of IoT and machine learning is applied in the field of aquaculture. Next. So we know that the world population has grown from 3 billion to more than 6 billion in the last 5 decades, and it is expected to reach 9 billion by 2050. So this creates a high demand for the food, and aquaculture is an integral part for the global food security. So, and aquaculture is the least environmentally impacting solution. But in aquaculture, one of the important area is the water quality monitoring. So if you have the water quality monitoring, then you can optimize the use of the resources, improve the sustainability and profitability, and you will be able to understand the health of the farm and fish feeding behavior and minimize the impact on environment. Next. So this is to show the evaluation of the water quality monitoring systems. Earlier, manual lab-based approach was used by collecting the water and then coming and testing at the laboratory. Then we have moved to the on-site monitoring, where the water quality monitoring system will be taken to the site, and then parameters will be monitored. Nowadays, we are using wireless sensor network-based solutions, where the entire process is done remotely without visiting the site. Next. So here I'm going to present about the low-cost water quality monitoring system by using the concept called the virtual sensing. So here the motivation for this work is the available water quality monitoring systems, the wireless sensor network based water quality monitoring systems are very costly and it can be afforded only by the large farms. So if we can design the systems by with lesser cost, that will help the small scale farms, and also this will encourage more users to use the water quality monitoring systems if the cost is less. So here the important water quality parameters to be monitored in aquaculture are temperature, pH, dissolved oxygen, salinity, electrical conductivity, and TDS. Next. So here we are taking the following approaches to reduce the cost of the system. We have used open source hardware and software, and then reduce the cost and product development time. And the sensors, as you know, in a sensor network, sensors contribute the major part of the cost. So some of the sensors are very costly, which make the system affordable to small scale fish farmers. So the approach we are taking here is called virtual sensing, in which we are monitoring some of the parameters by using physical sensors, and some other parameters are sensed virtually without using the sensors, but by using some interdependency relations. Okay, next. So here you can see this is the block diagram of the system developed. So here we are choosing some set of sensors, physical sensors in the node S, and then the node S is connected to the node C, which is the coordinator. Next. So here in the hardware, we use only temperature, pH, and salinity sensors, and the value of the dissolved oxygen, TDS, and electrical conductivity are calculated by using the interdependency equations. So here you can see that the node S processes the raw data and converts the available data to the water quality parameters, and virtual sensing is done to get the estimate of the parameters like dissolved oxygen, TDS, and conductivity, and these values will be sent to the node C, which is a coordinator through which it can be wirelessly, we can provide the data by using a message or through Wi-Fi or through a cloud. The farmers and aquaculturists can access the data. Next. So this is the system which we have developed, and the system we have tested in the freshwater fish pond available in Pajanko. This is an agriculture college near to my institute, and the system is used to measure the pH, temperature, and salinity by using the sensors, and the other parameters like DO, conductivity, and TDS are estimated by using interdependency relations, which is implemented in the microcontroller. Next. So here I'm showing the some part of the results, and it is calculated for the dissolved oxygen, and you can see that an accuracy of more than 90% we were able to achieve. Next. So we have developed a low-cost system by using the concept called virtual sensing, by using some physical sensors, and then other parameters are estimated by using interdependency equations, and we can get an accuracy of 90% and above. Next. So then we have used a concept called machine learning. Machine learning is widely used nowadays. So here in aquaculture, we are implementing machine learning, and here our idea is to further improve the accuracy of the virtual sensing, because the virtual sensing systems which we have developed, even though the accuracy is high, still we want to further increase the accuracy by using concept of machine learning. So this is the block diagram of the machine learning based system. Here this is done only shown for only one parameter called dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen is virtually sensed, and for machine learning you may be knowing that we need some past data. It is compared with the past data and then given to LSTM. This is a simple machine learning technique called I'm just showing one example, just showing one technique. This is a simple machine learning technique called LSTM, and here we have tried to minimize the error by adding a correction factor to the available equation. So Here by adding this correction factor, we were able to further increase the accuracy of the system. Next. So here you can see the results. So here this is the actual value which is shown in the green color, and virtually sensed values are shown in the here the actual value is shown in the blue color, and the virtually sensed values are shown in the green color. And virtual sensing along with the machine learning, the results are shown in this yellow color, and you can see that it is very close to the actual values. Next. 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 So here we have another approach which we have taken in our project. This is prediction of the water quality parameters. So here, as I told, the water quality parameters are very important for aquaculture. So a change in the water quality parameter will affect the productivity drastically, and have even if you go for a real-time monitoring, that is not sufficient. You should be able to forecast the values of the water quality parameters. So in case of dissolved oxygen, once it falls below a threshold value, bringing back to the required level will require a minimum time of operation, but this will affect the growth as well as the mortality rate of the aquaculture systems. So here we are using the concept of machine learning in order to forecast or to predict the values of the water quality parameters in advance. Next. So this is again, I'm showing a basic system. This is a LSTM based forecasting model. So in this, for the implementation of to validate our system, we have collected the data from ADAC, an agency for the development of aquaculture Kerala under Government of Kerala, and we have collected the data for 3 years, in which 2.5 years data is used for the training and 6 months data is used for the testing. Next.
Dr. Harigovindan, I apologize for pressing you, but just keeping an eye on time.
I'm going to wind it up. So here you can see the predicted values and the actual values are in accordance with each other. They are very closely matching. Next slide. Here we are showing the values of the mean square error, and you can see that the mean square error values are also very less. Next. And these are some list of references which I have used for this project work. And I thank DST for giving me an opportunity to present my research work in front of this eminent personalities. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Harigovindan, both for rejoining us despite the technical issues and for making a very important presentation. There are questions on the right-hand side, which I'm sure you've seen with interest in technology, and I do hope that advances very well. We'd now like to, for the final presentation of this particular panel, we should like to kindly invite Dr. Himanshu Barman from the AIRI research field in Meghalaya. He works the Central Silk Board. He's done a certain amount of work in technology and commercialization in this particular domain. It's a very special work in this domain. Dr. Barman, if we can kindly invite you to make your presentation. I know the facilitation team is just loading up your presentation now, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity to present my research works and organizing such a digital platform for Atmanirbhar Bharat. So I am working on the agriculture under a DST project. So my presentation is technology absorption in agriculture at pre-cocon and post-cocon stage in the process of science and technology society setu for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Please go on. Please next slide. So before going details about the agriculture, let us see the status. So raw silk production in our country during 2019-20, it was 7,204 metric ton, which is 294 metric ton increase over previous financial years, and GDP is 4.26%, of India's raw silk production. So the GDP is not so satisfactory. So what are the causes for low GDP in our country about raw silk production? Agriculture is unorganized traditional cultural practice, mostly done by the tribal peoples for their traditional food, that is pupa. They are taking the pupa as their traditional foods. For most of the persons involved in agriculture, they are doing for particularly for food purpose. So no adoption of food plant garden. Please. Non-adoption of food plant garden, systematic plantation is very much required for agriculture, because the agriculture depends upon the production of food plant leaves. So in lacking of agriculture systemic food plant plantations, that cause low production of agriculture. And pre-cocoon agriculture is purely rural-based, occasional or secondary income source only. Peoples are not adopting the agriculture as their main livelihood. They are doing it in traditional manner, collecting leaves, food plant leaves from the forest area or roadside growing localities. Seasonal plantation of castor plant. Castor plant is the main food plant of silkworm, iri silkworm. So seasonal plantation of castor plants only support 2-3 cultures per annum, and that is not encouraging to use land by farmers as main livelihood income. On the other hand, pre-cocoon agriculture is not economically encouraging than post-cocoon agriculture, and moreover, technological and infrastructure gaps are made to adopt both pre and post-cocoon agriculture as luxuriant main livelihood by rural farmers. To be a luxuriant livelihood, agriculture both pre and post-cocoon should be adopted by a farm family. Then only agriculture will be able to provide their livelihood. Only post-cocoon culture, that is spinning of cocoon into yarn, weaving of fabrics, designing and marketing, have been providing employment. That too depends upon on the raw silk production, raw cocoon, silkworm cocoon production in pre-cocoon cultures. Next, please. Please, second slide. So agriculture can be divided in pre-cocoon and post-cocoon sector. In pre-cocoon sectors, food plant gardening to rear the silkworms, there are 2 steps: the food plant gardening, plant host plant sector, and livestock sector. In post-cocoon sector, spinning into yarn and value addition, and other activities are weaving into fabrics. And this food plant gardening that also involves some technical aspects like nursery and garden development of perennial food plants, development of seasonal castor garden, manure package, disease and pest control, intergrouting. But at present status, this sector, food plant gardening, it is very precarious. So persons are not adopting these systematic plantations. It is very much required because the magnitude of cocoon production will directly depend upon the amount of leaf productions. And as the castor main food plant cannot support the rearing activities throughout the year, so alternatively perennial food plant should be there. So both perennial food plant as well as seasonal food plant together we have to develop in the garden form systematically to continue rearing process throughout the year so that it can support livelihood. Rearing of worm also have several types of scientific activities like DFL, that means egg production. DFL means disease-free layings, early stage rearing, late stage rearing, cocooning, use of wastage as manure, disease and pest control. So these are all scientific things and technologies are there. But since the farmers are not adopting agriculture in a commercial way, they are rearing in a small quantity. So technology intervention, that means DFL productions, early stage rearing, late stage rearing, cocooning, disease and pest control, the technology intervention is also very less in that sector. But in post-cocoon sector, technology intervention is quite satisfactory, and these two sectors is providing the only employment. Spinning, this activity includes processing cocoon cells, spinning yarn, value addition, and weaving into fabrics. It also involves blending and weaving, designing and fabric production, marketing. So these are the activities in post-cocoon sector, and in these activities, mechanization is there. There are large factories, spinning factories are there, weaving factories are there. Even then also, agriculture provide opportunity, employment opportunity to the rural and semi-urban areas covering that areas. So please, next slide. Please, next slide. Next, yeah. So food plan garden is must to adopt agriculture as a livelihood, and throughout the year to rear silkworm economically viable, there should be both perennial and seasonal food plants. So 3 perennial food plants, that keseru, borpat, and tapioca. These are perennial food plants. In perennial food plants, we are to do systematic gardening, and in systematic gardening, we are to do some intercropping for additional benefits. Otherwise, people will think that land used by them for agriculture, leaf productions, it will not be very much satisfactory, economically satisfactory. So intercropping must be done along with the perennial food plant gardens as well as seasonal food plant gardens. Next. Next, please. Please, next slide. So these are two another perennial food plants. This is borpat. This is called. This is also similarly effective with that keseru plants. And this one is tapioca. Tapioca is very popular to the tribal peoples because from the leaves they are rearing silkworms, iri silkworms, and root portion. This is high starch source and other valuable nutrients. So they are eating is at raw and vegetable as well as industry in the production of sako. Please, next slide. So the castor plant gardening. So castor plant gardening cannot provide rearing the iri silkworm throughout the year in beneficial way. That's why along with the castor plantation, there should be some intercropping as well as perennial food plants garden to support the rearing throughout the year should be there. Otherwise, agriculture cannot be adopted as a livelihood, main livelihood. Okay, please, next slide. Go to next slide, please. So, silkworm rearing involves different types of scientific activities like egg production. Egg production, egg production to produce the good eggs for good crops. Seed crop production is important. It should be specially reared so that the moths are very good. They can lay healthy eggs. Like for this purpose, special care should be taken, and only castor leaf should be fed to the seed crop for seed crop production only. Other food plants, these are secondary food plants. So by rearing with that secondary food plants, the egg production is not so beneficial. The mother moth emergence, coupling and decoupling, laying egg by mother moth, and mother moth examination. These activities are very much scientific, and our pupils cannot adopt these activities because infrastructure requirement and high skill of technology is required. So our voluntary organizations or our other organization, they can adopt these things to produce disease-free iri egg for distribution to the end user. That means to the rearers. Second stage is early stage rearing. In early stage rearing also, care should be taken so that tender leaf can be feeding. Leaf moisture cannot lower down. It should be maintained. Protection from pests and predators they are also causing losses to our crop. So these are the scientific activities. So here technological intervention is required. The next is late stage rearing. Late stage rearing also have some scientific activities and some specific technology is there. Feeding with mature leaf, effective rearing techniques are there. Disease management is there. So many diseases are there, bacterial, fungal, and protozoal disease are there. So to manage that disease, some medicine, some pesticides, other things have to be used. So pest management. And lastly, cocooning. Cocooning is also a scientific process, and in this stage, about 15 to 20% ripened worm has been lost. And if the situation, climate, that means high humidity, rainfall, high temperature, if they found in the systems, then they will not be able to cocoon in full swing. That means their silk gland will not be properly utilized to give a good cocoon. So protection from predators is also have to be maintained in cocooning stage. Weather friendly techniques is required. Then uniform, comfortable moisture and temperature have to be maintained in cocooning device. But at present, the farmers are not able to do this. They are simply collect the leaves, plant leaves, and they are using that for cocooning purpose. And these are not the scientific, and about 20% losses are there. Next, please. Thank you.
Dr. Varman,
So-
again, apologies to press you, but if we may request you to gently start tying this up, we then need to move to the Q&A stage.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Scientific and commercial rearing of silkworm needs specific infrastructure, including rearing house. So initial cost is very high. Without government aid, small and marginal farmers cannot afford such infrastructure. That's why under a project funded by DST, I have developed a technique which can be used by the small and marginal farmers for their agriculture profitable and scientifically. Next, please. Please. Second slide. Yeah. This is the all-in-one technique where all the life cycles of the silkworm can be done. The material may be wooden, it may be iron, or may be steels, depending upon the needs of the farmers. So this structure can be dismantled, and according to the need, it can be rearranged. Suppose for seed cocoon storage, this should be arranged like this. Their moth will be immersed, they will get coupling, and the coupled moth will be tied up with corica, and corica will remain hanging with these parts. So egg production will be there. Then early stage rearing, for early stage rearing, this should be arranged like this, and this is a very scientific. Moisture can be maintained inside so that tender leaf cannot wilt, as well as the predator pest, they cannot enter and lose the crops. And the late stage rearing, you have to arrange like this, and the bunch of leaves should be hang in the rearing bird, and it is scientific, and aeration is very good here, so worms are feeling comfort, and it's required very small area, not a complete room or like this. And here for cocooning purpose, this should be arranged like this, and cocoonings are very good because of yeah. Okay, please next go. So the size is 3 feet by 3 feet by 6.5 feet. In this, it can be sensed according to need, and 30 DFLs can be reared, and this 30 DFL will give about 6,000 cocoons. Further, cocooning process by ripened larva is labor consuming and weather dependable activities. While commercial rearing is going on, this cocooning process itself is a labor consuming, time consuming. We have to engage so much labors for cocooning the ripen and harvesting the cocoons. About 15 to 20% loss incurred due to non-scientific cocooning system that do not suit all weather conditions like rainy, dry and cool in winter, wet and hot in summer. So in view of this, under this DST seed sponsor project, I have developed a cocooning device also. This coconing device is very scientifically very good because the cocons are bigger than in comparison to traditional one and clean and needs minimum labor cost. It is very easy to harvest and to arrange the systems. As per need, capacity can be changed according to needs. So applicant, besides coconing, this system also can be used for early stage rearing, seed cocon storage, for moth emergence, cocon storage like this. So 3 feet by 3 feet into 1.5 feet capacity single coconing device will accommodate 3,000 Arakan larvae. And if it can be double, triple like this, we can increase the capacity. So let us see the device. Okay, please. Next slide.
Dr. Datta, would it be all right if we would, I know you're waiting to start the next session. Would it be all right if we start in a couple of minutes? This is to Dr. Devapriya Datta, DST. In a couple of minutes, would that be all right, sir? I know we're starting.
Yeah, I'll be able to finish. Okay, I'll be able to finish. So this is the double stack. It may be triple, quadruple like this according to need. So it's require very small area. This is the picture, and these cocons are very good, neat and clean. And this system can also be used at early stage rearing and cocon storage. This is single this cocon device. Please next go. Please next. So pre-cocon agriculture. So pre-cocon activities are completely rural and technology absorption in this sector is not satisfactory. This sector of agriculture is not providing affordable livelihood to rural ambitious youths. Still, it is secondary activity for additional income generation along with other agricultural practices. Only technology intervention in this sector can provide livelihood to rural targeted families. So now come post-cocon sector. In the post-cocon sector, employment generation is maximum and technology absorption is also maximum. These are the stakes where technology has been already absorbed, that is spinning, weaver, designer and fabric producer and sellers. But this activity depends upon the production of raw cocons in the pre-cocon stage. So to create market demand, weavers gives different colors to yarn, for which yarn has to be treated at least 2 or 3 times with boiling water. This causes the softening and swelling of the yarn. This is not economic, as cannot give the additional value because of their low quality. So our designer and weavers, they are using others way, that means wool yarn, cotton yarn, blending it as non-natural. So in market, they are not getting the proper price. Please next slide. So to overcome these things, I have to develop another innovation. This is like this. Just show the complete slide. Yeah, this. So this is, I am just finishing in this slide. If cocon cell processing and coloring activities absorbed by the rearer itself, the agriculture cocon production will be economically more viable, and this will not harm the weavers. Rather, they will be beneficial in terms of time, labor, and a pure fabric weaving. So one paper has been published in this regard. So finally, I want to suggest to develop agriculture under Atmanirbhar Bharat, so that our voluntary organizations and other NGOs, they can adopt these 2 working models, because haphazardly disseminating technology will not help the farmers, because small farmer and marginal farmers, they cannot afford their lands for food plant gardening and produce only small quantity of cocons. So they should be adopted as a final silk fabricators. So technology should be disseminated to these small and marginal farmers, so that their small quantity produced cocons can be converted to fabrics, because 1 kg cocon gives only 1,000 rupees. If the persons convert it to final fabric, then he will get 5,000. So in this way, if we adopted this working model, then employment will be generated in the rural area. Please up this slide one. Yeah, this in the second model, Those farmers who can afford sufficient land for food plant garden should confine in production of raw cocoa and should absorb required technology only. Post-cocoa technology, they should be avoided because they can spare lands for food plant gardening and doing both perennial and seasonal gardens along with intercropping. They will be able to produce cocoa throughout the year. Moreover, in 1 month also, they can do, if their sufficient leaves are there, they can do 2 times rearing, 2 crops they can harvest in 1 month by doing the overlapping practice. So this we have to keep in mind. It is just my suggestion, not I am not advising, but it is just I am mentioning that while sorting out the this agriculture project or some works, this 2 work models should be in mind, so that agriculture, maybe these activities, government schemes or projects should be fruitful. So thank you very much. With this, I am finishing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We appreciate your presentation very much, particularly your points at the end. Thank you, and apologies again for having had to force the pace. We lost a lot of time in the earlier part of the session. Thank you to all the panelists for your presentations and inputs, all of which were very specifically focused on how the lot of farmers on the ground and of agriculturalists and animal husbanders on the ground can be advanced. There are a number of questions that have come in, and I know that we would like to respond to some of those questions. I will just now kindly invite Dr. Devapriyo Dotto from CDST to pick up the questions. Sir, if you'd like to advance. And then after that, sir, we'll then invite your concluding remarks for this session.
Thank you, Rahul. And I think today what we have basically seen a spectrum of the technology available in this the agriculture allied sectors, in the livestock, fisheries, the poultry, and also in this the agriculture and the silkworm rearing. There are many other sectors, but in this the time limitations has forced us to focus here. What we have seen that already there is a certain, on the right hand side we see that there is an interest from the core support groups about some of the technology about that they have discussed. But before I take the technology, I promised I do not know who is from GB Pant University, because he wanted to talk about a technology for increasing the milk. And if you are still here, sir, because since your name is not here, I can't see here. So if you are here, please, if you can put on your microphone and tell what you wanted to say, please, from GB Pant University, because we saw the name here, GB Pant only. Okay. I think I think he must have left then. Okay, then there are certain questions towards Dr. Malik, and this is from Anis Muhammad. Dr. Malik, the question is the question of whether the moringa plant is suitable as a feed for goat, whether goat farm should be registered, and whether it should get registered. Basically, in most area in eastern Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. No, this is for Archan Kanti Das, but this is the questions regarding the goat farm. Dr. Malik, would you help Mr. Anis Muhammad's these questions? Dr. Malik? I think Dr. Malik must have left. If we have left, that then we will put these questions on our the ISTI portal, and we'll put the answers also. I request my colleagues from DST and Vigyan Prasar to just follow up and put these answers on the website. Dr. Malik, are you here? I don't see Dr. Malik here. Okay. So the next question is for Dr. Archan Kanti Das. In most areas in eastern UP and Bihar, water logging remains 3 to 4 feet every year for 2 to 3 months. In such situation, farmers are not able to take kharif crop. is there any technology that fish farming can be done even in short time? Dr.
Yeah.
Am
I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have been proposing and we have been working with that in Bihar. More than 3 lakh hectares of chor area. These are called flooded wetlands. During monsoon, the river gets flattened sideways. So 2 to 3 feet water since 3 to 4 months. Why not? We will be utilizing this waterlogged area for production of at least advanced fingerling at time. So we have been already proposing, and a number of projects have been initiated also, particularly in Gandak, Burigandak, Koshi and all, blocking the area with net, developing self-help group, imbibing this youth group also, that 2 to 3 feet water for 3 to 4 months water logging, stocking at 10 gram size and harvesting at 200 to 250 gram size. Good proposition so far as chor area is concerned. This is called chor, CHAUR, chor area, that is flooded wetland. So technology is ready with us at our institute.
Okay, Dr. Das, like there is a certain questions for Dr. BC Mohapatra. That what are the licensing formalities and do we need any permission for purchasing breeding inducing hormonal injections for fishes, and if you wish to adopt technology for anabas koi breeding at Pune, Maharashtra, is it possible? And the cost of FRP at carp hatchery right now. So these are the questions for Dr. BC Mohapatra. Dr. Mohapatra?
Yeah, I am here.
Yeah.
Actually, purchase of hormones is available in the market. There is no issue, because we used OVA Prim, OVA FX, now OVA Tide, like that, many hormones are available. So this is not an issue. And coming to the hatchery, and SIFA has commercialized the hatchery, and presently that the license period has ended. So it is now in the commercialization process, and the advertisement has come already from the Agri Innovate India. It is in the website. Once the technology is sold to any private party, so it will be supplied. So that is the situation now. And the breeding, and you can, because I'm not the expert in the koi and other breeding, but there is other experts in my institute. And if it is required, they can write to our director so that we can render help to them.
Okay. I think there is a question from Dr. Harigovindan. Dr. Harigovindan, if you are here, that whether any plans to add monitoring of ammonia level, which is also a key parameter to measure. And we are also interested to adopt this technology. This is from one of our, two of our, core support groups. Dr. Harigovindan, I think already he has interacted and given his contact, number. So I think
yes, sir. I have seen. Yes, sir. I have seen the questions in the chat box, and I have shared my contact details with them. And as far as ammonia is concerned, in our present system also we are monitoring ammonia because that is a very important water quality parameter.
Okay, so I don't know whether the persons from GB Panth has returned here, or if not, because these are the questions only we have got. Any more questions also we will put it on the the portal and the answers also. So before we come, okay, Dr. Malik, are you here? There are some questions for you, Dr. Malik.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry, I was in another meeting, so I just could not answer to your question. Please.
Okay, this was from a person who wants to do the goat farming. So the question is that whether the goat farm should be registered and where to get registered, and if there is a moringa plant is suitable as a feed for goat.
Yeah, in fact, right now there is no registration required for any goat farming or anything, and that's why there is no registration agency as such. So anybody as a farmer, as a farming activity, they can start this. The only thing, if he has to go into this processing part, then probably from the small MSME or the industries side, the food processing industries, they have to go for the registration. Regarding moringa, yes, it's not really bad. In fact, what I am hearing from CIRG's sources, they say like we have been using this in certain animals, and they could show us some kind of benefit from this, because this has got some alkaloids and other opioids which are helpful in treating some of the disease. So it's good for preventing mastitis also, they say. So it's like, it's not only the nutritional value, but also the medicinal value is there in the moringa. Sometimes palatability issues can be there, which generally people say are not there with the goat. तो goat के साथ अगर palatability issue नहीं है, और अगर है तो उसका वो एक pellet form में बना लेते हैं. पैलेट फॉर्म की छोटी सी मशीन CIRG मथुरा के साथ है, वो वहां से आपको गाइड कर सकते हैं, अकॉर्डिंगली वहां से आप मोरिंगा को यूज करने के लिए और जानकारी भी ले सकते हैं.
हेलो.
ओके, या.
हाँ सर, मैं ओडिशा से बोल रहा हूँ सर, कोरापुट से.
यस, हाँ हम सुन पा रहे हैं आपको सुन पा रहे हैं. यस.
हाँ सर, मेरा एक्चुअली मैं प्रभाकर अधिकारी बोल रहा हूँ सर, प्रगति कोरापुट से. प्रगति एक NGO है सर, वो हम लोग जो ट्राइबल फार्मर्स के साथ काम कर रहे हैं सर. बेसिकली वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन नेचुरल रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट. जो MGNREGA में ज्यादा फार्म फंड जो हुआ है सर, हम लोग सोच रहे हैं कि वो फार्म फंड को लेके कैसे जो एक्वाकल्चर करेंगे तो जो ट्राइबल फार्मर्स है उनको बेनिफिट मिलेगा. इज इट पॉसिबल टू DST टू लीड दिस प्रोसेस सर?
नहीं, लेकिन DST तो लीड नहीं करता है. व्हाट आई सजेस्ट दैट आप डॉक्टर महापात्र के साथ कांटेक्ट करिए. डॉक्टर महापात्र ऑलरेडी उन्होंने बताया ही इज रेडी टू lead this type of a mission, and he is of the opinion that the fish fingers or the fish links are the requirement of the time the fish seals. So आप उनके साथ करके you come up with a project and definitely we will consider it.
सर
इसमें एक इंफॉर्मेशन मैं ये देना चाहूंगा सर कि स्टेट फिशरीज डिपार्टमेंट के माध्यम से अगर आप डेवलपमेंट कमिश्नर फिशरीज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के साथ डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फिशरीज में अगर आप अप्रोच करेंगे तो शायद वो भी इसमें कुछ ना कुछ आपकी मदद कर सकेंगे.
एक्चुअली क्या है सर, मेजर कंसर्न है सर, जो फिंगर लिप नहीं मिलता है ना, जो सीड नहीं मिलता है. यहाँ जो हचरी नहीं है, जो क्वालिटी सीड भी नहीं मिल रहा है. जहाँ की हम लोग को क्या है कि आंध्र प्रदेश में डिपेंड करना पड़ता है. आंध्रा से आएगा तो होगा, नहीं तो नहीं. इस साल सर कोविड के लिए भी मेजर प्रॉब्लम हो गया है. ये एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है, क्योंकि ट्राइबल फार्मर्स को बेसिकली वो एक हो जाएगा तो वो दो चीज होगा सर. एक तो लाइवलीहुड, उनका जो लाइवलीहुड है, लाइवलीहुड के ऊपर भी इम्पैक्ट आएगा. सेकंड थिंग सर, ये जो माइग्रेशन हो रहा है वो माइग्रेशन भी नहीं होगा सर, क्योंकि ये ऑफ सीजन में बेसिकली जो रेन सीजन में उनका जो पानी, हमारा यहाँ सर 15 mm से ज्यादा बारिश हो रहा है. अभी हम लोग जो है 1500 से ज्यादा बारिश है. तो हम लोग जो अभी वाटर कंजर्वेशन इतना किया है, तो अच्छे से ये फिशिंग करेंगे तो उनको जो ऑफ सीजन है, जो माइग्रेशन का जो टाइम था, वो उसको एडजस्ट हो जाएगा सर. उनको इनकम मिलेगा, वो खुद गांव में रह सकता है, जो कि ट्राइबल फार्मर के लिए वो बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट होगा सर.
तो मेरा सजेशन ये रहेगा कि ये आप डॉक्टर महापात्र के साथ आप कांटेक्ट करके इफ यू कैन आप एक नेटवर्क प्रोजेक्ट्स डेवलप कर सकते हैं. बट उसमें आप जैसे डॉक्टर मालिक ने आपको सलाह दिया कि आप जो अभी नया डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फिशरीज भी शुरू हुआ है उनको भी आप अप्रोच कर सकते हैं. बट साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ये भी हम कंसिडर कर सकते हैं.
सर थैंक यू सर.
Can I come in, sir?
Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Mahapatra. Actually, to my best of knowledge, 5 to 6 districts. 6 districts are the tribal aspirational districts in Odisha. And we are also working some of the places, but a massive program taking many NGOs and teaching them, training them, and creating some nucleus centers like hatcheries, and bringing so many farmers in one common platform. As you suggested, we can think of a massive project like Mission Mode project with many NGOs from the south districts, because they are all tribals. So that can be thought of. So if that is possible, we can take a lead.
Sure, you can take these, the priority districts, or you can come up with this network type of programs, and we can consider.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Definitely. And whether I see here Dr. Guliani here. Dr. Guliani, are you here? Yes, Dr. Guliani. Yes, Dr. Guliani. Like you have seen that what we have discussed, and you have seen the seed activity for long. How do you feel like this type of these suggestions and the new things we can integrate into our evolution process? आपका unmute करना पड़ेगा. Unmute. Your microphone is not mute. It is muted. Yeah.
Okay. So we have to see based on the past experience, and over the years what we have faced. So I was giving the suggestion. So it is all based on the past experience, that these things are required. Now the gaps have to be filled. Even in organizations, the gaps have to be filled. My suggestion was, that like NDDB, National Dairy Development Board, it has taken care of the cattle and buffaloes in the country, and milk production has risen. But this has not been done in terms of meat production. We have meat, research institutes, like we have CARG Magdoum, we have CSWRI. These two animals, most of the meat consumed in the country is from small ruminants. Because cattle is not, permitted. So small ruminant and poultry. Why poultry is becoming more and more popular? Because sheep and goat meat is becoming costlier and costlier. It is crossing 500, 600 rupees now. But at the same time, poultry is around 200. So there is a large gap. But people want to take mutton. There are certain advantages of it. So in that, I suggested that a national small ruminant development board can be formed in the country, which will look after the gaps which are to be filled in this sphere. So this was my suggestion to Dr. Malik. That part I wanted to take up with him. So this was my point. Sir, you have to turn on your mic.
Yeah. Or any one of you, who have attended, have any any other comments or suggestions that how the cross bridging, the collaborations, what we are thinking. Like here you see the Dr. Mahapatra along with this, the persons from Pragati, they are ready to come together and have a cross bridge collaborations like that. So this is an example of knowledge institutions and the NGO collaborations. So, in this way, if any of you have any suggestions in these allied sectors, if you can give it now, or you can give it as a writing. Maybe Dr. Archan Kantidas, you can, if you have any solution, if you have any suggestions in this regards.
Yeah, that we can do it. Then I will take some time and send it to you.
Yeah, I will be putting it in writing format, as well as we have to proceed further with these NGOs. We have been working in Sundarban last 5-6 years with Sundarban Dream and other NGOs working well, excellent. So taking them into cognizance, that we can go deep into the tribal, then SC communities. Now there is SCSP project, scheduled caste supply, because in fisheries sector, TSP projects mostly valid in forest areas. Most of the tribals are dominating in forest areas. In our fisheries sector, mostly SC people are there. We have been working across India, and that is why Ministry of Rural Development, they have come up with SCSP project. It works well. And under this project, a number of NGOs also we are taking together into cognizance, and we are going ahead that to across India. It works well. So I request our DST that set up and all, if these NGOs could be promoted in this fashion, what we have been doing, our fisheries institutes have been doing, then it would be a nice propositions for future rural economical growth of India. Thank you.
I should also like to add, if I may, Dr. Datta, with your permission, Dr. Datta, of course, is very familiar. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Datta, of course, is very familiar with the Agni mission and the Office of PSA's work in this particular area. The department, the office are very close collaborators, right from the secretary level, to across the entire department. But I should just like to let everyone at this group know that that in collaboration with DST and through various channels, we have commercialized a number of technologies on agriculture and indeed on animal husbandry. A lot of those technologies have tended to be from startups, but we've also worked, of course, with technologies from the research and development ecosystem, in areas like water, but also in areas like agriculture and other such areas. We'd be very interested in being able to support in any way. We will, of course, be reaching out to DST at the office and at Agni to collaborate with them. But if there's any support that we can offer you, we'd be delighted to do so, both in terms of being able to access technologies and commercialize R&D, and in terms of being able to direct technologies to organizations in the field that are trying to advance commercialization. I know Dr. Ketaki Bapat from the senior officer at the Office of the PSA is also present on this video conference. I think I can see her on the video screen. But I just wanted to very quickly mention this, and of course, this is very much under the rubric of our collaboration with DST. Thank you so much, Dr. Datta. I just wanted to comment on this, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Ketaki ji, do you have any comment? Ketaki ji, Dr. Bapat?
No, just 2 sentences only, not many comments. Let me first congratulate for this important subject you have brought in, and I am very glad to see the ICAR, CIFS and other institutions which they are doing a very wonderful work, and which I think with this our Setu on this initiative, we can request our core NGOs to adopt certain technologies, and maybe the proactive officers and the passionate officers we are all seeing today, and how best we can tweak their work to the desired sites that we can see. And with the help of, as PSC is also chairing national level committee for animal husbandry, R&D sector also, and other directive sectors also. We will definitely take this kind of the core NGO suggestions further for PSA's knowledge. And Dr. Malik is already here, and we will work out a suitable mechanism to adopt these things. Thank you. Over. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I see here Director of Research from US, Dharwad. I think, sir, you want to have any comments because you put it on your, yes, please.
No, sir, I don't want to comment anything. It is a very good experience and information sharing for us. Thank you very much, sir. I don't have any comments to make.
Okay. So then, if you don't have any, I think I will give Dr. Malik for the last comment. Dr. Malik, like you have seen what we have tried to do. What is in your view that really how we can take it forward with this, cross-bridging collaborations with the knowledge institutions and the NGOs and really the community, and maybe and also the the startups.
Thank you, Dr. Datta. In fact, what you are doing is a wonderful initiative. I tell you from the core of my heart, it's really a wonderful initiative to connect with the society as such. In fact, what we need to now do is a bit more convergence with the line departments like our department, which are acting with the farmers, with the last stakeholders, as well as with the scientific institutions like we have got in under ICAR or DBT for that matter. So the scientific institutions have to come up with technologies which are really required in the field by the stakeholder to improve the productivity part. Right now, I'm sitting with one of the stakeholders with me who are into the meat production. Basically, we were just discussing about this issue that the technology is there. It is not reaching to in the right format to the stakeholder. If we say if we need emerging or new technologies, no, probably what are existing must be reaching to the farmer in the right perspective for their benefit. We have got so much of issues in between on all steps, starting from the developer of the technology to the producer of the technology, then implementer of the technology, and then finally the user. So it's like we have to build a chain and a trust between all these partners together, so that whenever we use some technology for productivity enhancement, it has to be taken in a right perspective, and probably the productivity can be very well enhanced and profits can be improved through these interventions. For example, say vaccination. Vaccine may be new or old, but vaccine has to be quality. Then vaccine delivery to the farmer has to be under the cold chain. So the cold chain infrastructure has to be ensured by the system. We can ensure that. But then the implementation part from the veterinarian, and then acceptance part from the farmer himself. So this acceptance, probably the NGOs and the self-help groups which are working in the field have to build that kind of confidence in the farmers or the last stakeholders. Plus, our delivery has to be more honest, and the technologies which are basically going to be useful to these farmers are required to be really those kind of cheap and economic technologies which can be basically used beneficial directly, rather than saying like right now you spend so much and then we can have benefits maybe 5 years later. It has to be a direct benefit to the farmer, only then it is going to be accepted. And we really appreciate the kind of involvement these community NGOs and other similar groups are there. I require something as a scientist, because of my academic interest, I start developing and finding the reason for developing that. We are not developing just because it is required in the field. So basically, it has to be a combined one. So we have to come up with a task force where people from all these stakeholder communities should be working together and drive the complete or guide the complete flow in a positive direction. Probably that's going to help. And for this initiative, I really thank you and compliment you and your team, including PSA's office and the Vigyan Prasar along with DST for such a wonderful initiative. Thank you, Dr. Datta.
Thank you, Dr. Malik. Actually, what you told, that's probably like, you have given the words to what was in our mind. So basically, with these things, with exactly like, bridging this systemic gap only, we have started this, this web clinic, and probably this pandemic has given us this opportunity to do, interact in this way and can reach to many different stakeholders in one platform, which otherwise physically would have been much challenged. I think our next challenges are that how this platform can be made permanent, the platform for this type of an cross stakeholder, the dialogue, and really to focus our research, the societally relevant research, to the societally relevant problems. Because as you told that, the inquisitive driven research is an important, because that gives the, the knowledge pool. But the technology, in most of our case, it is given as a technology push. We have to create that pull factor within the community where NGOs plays a very important role, so that the pull factor gives the technology developmental processes. And in order to do this, tomorrow we will be listening from the NGO and the the startup communities, from their experience of the field, what type of a knowledge input to the research they feel, or they have some technology where they feel that there can be an to collaborate with the knowledge organizations, again to bridge up to bridge these gaps. I thank all of you for your active and the interesting participation for a year. This is our first attempt. There may be some like the fault from our side in technological challenges, but in spite of that, you are being all with us, and that's the real strength of what we have. And definitely we'll take it forward. And this is the national requirement where all of us will work together in order to bridge this gap. And I think this is the requirement of the time to bridge this science and the samaj, the society sector. And I thank all of you, and we'll meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Datta. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.